All right, everybody, without further ado, Mac and T-Bone from WFNZ here to introduce our boy, man, the official rapper of our show.
Cuddy Cutrights, Panther anthem, keep pounding forever.
Yeah, okay, y'all ready? Let's go! Carolina Panthers, get on your feet, make some noise. It's our time. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We shake the ground when we coming. Let's go. Leave butterflies in your stomach. The way McCaffrey running in the offense, balling, yeah, we on to something. Wide receivers, yeah, they making plays. Defense getting the takeaways. Kyle Allen playing lights out, and they worry about what the haters say. Greg Olsen never lost a step. That's Mr. Reliable, show respect. It's not easy against Keekly, and that front line, and that's ED. Cam Newton got a rest up. Ain't no INT, but when it's showtime, better be ready and dressed up. It's your moment and you cannot mess up. The motto we know is next man up. Every Panther fan, please stand up. If you believe, put your hands up. Before every game, play this anthem. Started off 0-2. Now we getting better. You see it? Shout out to Riverboat Rock Coach Rivera. How you doing, David Tepper? Let's go. We gon' keep pounding forever. 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 Let's go. Never stop. Never quit. Never stop. Never quit. Let's never stop. Never quit. We gon' keep pounding forever. Yeah. Let's go. And we gon' keep pounding.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers post-game show. If we could get some thumbs up that we can hear all the audios. Fellas, Panthers fall 29-21 against the really intimidating Redskins, a team that, you know, has rushed the ball all season on opponents at will, has won close games whenever they could, and rallied behind a rookie quarterback today. Damn it, no! The Redskins suck, and we lost to them, and we looked worse. Hey, who's here today? Cody, what's up, man? How you doing over there? I heard Chef Jeff in the background.
No, you didn't hear Chef Jeff.
No?
You just heard me, man. No, man, listen, we're just coming off of Thanksgiving, and I have made a note that I am not going to be all upset and depressed and bent out of shape today. I'm going to try and be the level head that keeps everybody cool, but I understand it's tough times, man. The Panthers just play down to their competition every single time. The players are playing bad. The coaches are coaching bad. There's no energy on the sidelines. There's a ton to talk about, but we have the most dedicated Panther podcast fan base that there is, and they're in the chat room. Trill One, Underground West, Rio Dub, Corin Merritt, James Funk, Sarah Taylor, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, my brother. Let's roll.
Oh, guys, CK is around here. We were unable to. We were supposed to be at this game, CK.
Yeah, we were. I'm so glad that we decided to allow some fans to go on our stead, man. It's one where you expect to win, but for no reason, right? At the end of the day, if we won, it would have been great for a moral victory, but you know, in terms of what it does for the team, it's very likely it would have done nothing. So honestly, probably better outcome than what it should have been had we won.
The Bat Daddy in the house as well. Move in the new house. The Bat Daddy in the new house here. Boy, you at the end of that game were pretty on fire in our conversation.
Yeah, a lot to say, man. A lot I'm going to unfold in this episode here. But I tell you what, I'm glad that I had a fridge to pick up today, or had delivered today instead of going to the game, because I would have been driving home very disappointed right now otherwise. So.
All right, you can be a part of the C3 Panthers post-game show by calling in at 252-228-5098. We go ahead and encourage you to subscribe and to leave a review. I saw a great review, actually. I saw somebody give us a 4 out of 5, and I thought it was the fairest review ever. They said, hey, I would have given these guys a 5 if the language wasn't a little abrasive at times where I'm riding in the car with my daughter. And I thought, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that, there you go. Someone who is trying to give an honest, fair review of a podcast, and we appreciate that, and we encourage you to subscribe and share the show with one person. Now, it's kind of hard to keep the language clean when the Panthers fall to the damn Redskins. That is the truth, is that we'll be talking about that. I guess we'll have to talk about the future of this team. We'll probably have to talk about Cam Newton and somewhere in there. And we'll get to your calls shortly. Guys, let's go ahead. Cody, I'm going to open it up to you. After this game, the Panthers started off with all near perfect, actually. Kyle Allen, 8 for 8, marches down the field twice, 2 touchdowns. But it turns out that the offense started to stall a little bit, and the defense is a wreck. The defense is bad, dude. It's atrocious.
It's really bad. And, you know, honestly, after that first quarter, I was prepared to come on here and start heaping praises on North Turner. I saw some good things. I saw some good plays, some things that I liked. But then, dude, when the momentum on the Carolina Panthers football team dips, it just seems like it's impossible to recover. I mean, after that first quarter, the coaches on Washington's sideline, they became aware of what Carolina Panthers offense was and what we wanted to do. And then they made adjustments, man, and that defense came alive. They beat our offense's ass, and yet again, we're seeing example It doesn't matter what kind of football team we're playing. If it's the New Orleans Saints, it doesn't matter if it's the Falcons or the Redskins. The Carolina Panthers defense is easy to figure out. It's easy to run the football on. It's easy to throw the football on. It's just an easy defense. And it's to the point now where I don't know. There isn't any team on the rest of our season that we're going to play that I don't trust their offense to put up 30 points. And that's just honest. It's unacceptable. And, for David Tepper being a brand new owner, I wonder what it would take for Ron Rivera to actually be fired in the middle of the season. I mean, I don't really care at this point, just as long as it happens. But, man, if you're David Tepper, you thought you bought a Super Bowl contending football team, and now you are about to be in for the rebuild of a lifetime.
Yeah. Is anybody ready to join me and say that something's wrong with Luke Kuechly?
Something's wrong with everyone. But
I've brought that up for the last few weeks, and people have called me crazy.
He was on the butt end of a couple of plays today that just looked like he didn't know where he was supposed to be at. And I like to chalk it up to everybody that they know that they're supposed to be where they're supposed to be, and I'm just not seeing something. But I saw him choose a gap on that Adrian Peterson touchdown where he ran up the middle or whatever, I think, or one of the long runs by AP, and he just guessed left, and the dude went the other way, and there's two gaps, and it looked like he was in the wrong one. Yeah. Luke, something's wrong, man, and I'm concerned. How that tells you the state of the team when something's wrong with Luke Kuechly. Mm-hmm. Guys, they almost had 200-yard rushers on us today. Adrian Peterson had 99. Darius Geis had 126. Why can we not stop?
They basically did,
yeah. Yeah, 200. Yeah, they basically did. So week after week after week, we have been unable to stop the run, and I feel like it's 2 years now. Now, we did suffer some injuries today. Who was hurt? Who was playing? Gerald McCoy was playing banged up, correct?
Gerald McCoy was banged up. Brian Burns got banged up a little bit. Our defense, before the start of the season, we thought our interior push was going to be good, that we were going to have good defensive tackles with Poe, KK, and Gerald McCoy, and it's the exact opposite. Our defensive line interior is by far the weakest part of our football team right now. It makes our linebackers play slower. It gives quarterbacks a pocket to be able to step up into and make throws, which is the exact opposite of what our football team is doing right now. Our trenches are soft, man. Our offensive line is soft. Our defensive line is soft. I mean, they're pussies out there, man. It doesn't take anything for another team to roll into our own stadium and beat the shit out of us at the line of scrimmage. Pardon my language.
A 2-9 team to roll into it.
Yeah,
2-7 teams. 2-7 teams.
We've been beat by 2-7 teams, just to let you know. Yeah. In the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, the Atlanta Falcons were 2-7 when they beat us, mm-hmm. and then so this is a mess. All right, why is it such a mess, CK?
I mean, wash, rinse, and repeat, as they say. It's coaching. I mean, obviously, the players didn't show up today in a manner that I'm sure the coaches were looking for them to show up, especially against a team that was 2-9 at the time. But the part of it is you kind of throw in this question of, oh, we did too good for those first two series. Now we need to dial it back if we want to have any chance at a lower draft pick, or a higher draft pick. But I want to lay some maybe optimism about the draft order. Right now, there is a distinct possibility the Panthers lose the remainder of their games. Let's be honest about some things.
Very distinct, yes.
Our next play is against Atlanta, who, sure, they're Atlanta, but they did destroy us last game. And then we have the Seahawks, then we have the Colts, and then we have New Orleans. So, I mean, there is a very clear and possible scenario where we lose the remainder of our games and we go 5-11. Now, why I bring that up is Washington has won 2 in a row. They're 3-9. There's a possibility they go higher than 5. They could win 3 of their last 4, or even 2, and they still have a better, chance at getting a lower draft pick than we would. Miami's at 3-9. Atlanta, their final 4 games, one is against us, another one against 49ers. Let's say they lose that one, and then they have Tampa Bay and Cincinnati or something. Crazy. It's somebody they can win their last 4. So there is a chance when I'm looking at these standings and these things that we get a top 10 pick. I hate to play it that way, but right now the only reason why we want to win is just for pride, and pride does nothing for the future of our franchise, and that's what we need to be focused on right now.
Yeah, and if you're cheering for draft position, you need to be rooting for the Cardinals and the Broncos right now.
Yeah,
but that's already the point that we're at, fellas. We're talking about the draft. That's my specialty. I didn't expect to have to be talking about this at this point in our season, but it is what it is, man. And I tweeted this out, and this is kind of the basis for my position on today's show, and it's kind of what I just alluded to. The silver lining in all of this is we're going to find out very quickly who David Tepper is as an owner, because he thought he was buying a $2-point-something billion Super Bowl contending football team. Instead of that, now we have an owner that has to revamp our coaching staff, that has to revamp the players that we have on the roster, the front office, everything from the general manager. I'm telling you, there is no scenario that we fire Ron Rivera and let a bunch of other people stay like Marty Herney. Maybe it does happen, but I don't see that happening. We're going to bring in a whole new regime for the Carolina Panthers, and it's needed, but it is certainly not what David Tepper expected to be doing at this time this year.
Oh, yeah. Mixed reviews on Kyle Allen today for me. Is that, again, he, I think, is better than a lot of people. He's actually plays
I
pretty good. Well, better. I mean, I didn't say it's better than this the college quarterback for Virginia Tech.
Okay.
I said a lot of people. I didn't say starters.
I heard.
I didn't say starters.
You meant to say he's better than like people who don't play football.
Yeah.
And people who don't start but are in the NFL.
He's better than other quarterbacks that don't play the position well.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, look, are you trying to tell me today that the central problem of today's loss was Kyle Allen? And I don't believe that's the case. Now, I know he did throw the pick six. All right, yes, the pick six hurts. But there's some like weird plays too that come in. He almost threw another pick six at the other end of the end zone at the end, but thank God it bounced off the ground. But really, what do you expect with Kyle Allen?
Agreed.
I mean,
That's, I guess, my point is that, look, I mean, he's out there delivering balls. I mean, I would say a lot of people let him down today, too. Number one, the offensive line let him down. A lot of receivers let him down.
Christian McCaffrey with a couple of catches.
Yeah, I mean, and so if we're going to be – I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just sitting here and saying I don't think we should let Kyle Allen – pull our attention away. Yeah, and pull our attention away from where the real problems are. Because you know what I'm saying is that if we go and start the season next year with Kyle Allen, the real problem is still not Kyle Allen. It's whoever decided to start the season with Kyle Allen.
So here's my question then. Like when you look at this from the outside looking in, you obviously look at that, them coming up the line, and they still run up the middle and they see that they're outmatched in the box. Like that means that they called a play. Kyle Allen came up. They haven't given him the reins to change that play, and then Christian McCaffrey's running into defenders. I mean, that's the problem that I'm having. Do we blame coaches or do we blame Kyle Allen because they're not giving him those reins? And are they not giving him those reins because they don't trust him to make those calls?
I just want to highlight, it's kind of funny that it popped up as you were saying that there are 2 comments in the chat that I think hit the nail on the head. Sarah Taylor says, don't put all the issues on Allen. And then Jeremy Clancy follows up with the defense getting run over like a truck stop lounge lizard. I didn't read the last part of that before I read it. But anyway, it's so true. And it doesn't change the fact that really you can't blame any one position group or any one person for today's loss, because we know who Kyle Allen is. He's still showing the same problems that we know that he has. He does not read the field well after his first and second read. He doesn't navigate the pocket well, but to his credit, there isn't a pocket for him to even work from.
Exactly.
And that's something that I wanted to bring up. When we talk about our coaches, supposedly John Matsko, our offensive line coach.
I know, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of this.
Best in the NFL, and I just don't buy it anymore.
When have we ever had the best damn line?
There is no gangster mentality. There is zero gangster mentality amongst this offensive line, and I'm a believer that your offensive line has to be some bullies, man. And they're not. They're wimps. Everyone just punks them all the time. Paradis, Trey Turner, Darrell Williams, even at the guard position, which is supposedly the better position that he plays. I mean, right now our offensive line is absolutely embarrassing. They're punks.
Yeah. All right, guys, real quick, I'm going to pose the question because we talked about it a moment ago with the draft situation. And I'm going to put it out there. I can't see the chat. I have it on my TV, so I can't respond, but I can see it. Let's just say Carolina loses a few of their games, and we end up with like the 5th, 6th, 7th pick somewhere in there, and Tua Tagovailoa is still available. Do you take him?
He might be available in the second round now.
He might be, but
I don't think so. There's going to be too many chances that are willing or too many teams that are willing to take a chance on Tua being the kind of player that he is. Their teams aren't going to pass on him.
So that's what I'm asking you. If you guys are GM and we're in the situation we're in right now, do you take Tua? Because our big deal with Cam Newton right now that everybody, from what I've been hearing at least online and everybody's reports, is it would be dumb for Carolina to get rid of Cam because of what he's done and the money he's going to cost next year. But if we have a top 5 quarterback pick for the next 5 years, we don't have to pay him nothing. So that throws the money out the window. So what do you do if Tua Tagovailoa is available and we're at the 6th pick and he's right there?
So I'll just give a real short answer real quick because mine's very short and simple. There's no I'm a Clemson fan. There's no guarantee that we're going to be bad enough to get Trevor Lawrence the year after. I think if Tua Tagovailoa is there, and if Cam Newton and David Tepper have mutually agreed to move on, because maybe Cam does want to play somewhere else. Obviously, I want him to be a Panther, and if I have my choice, I'm picking Cam Newton all day, every day.
All day long.
However, if both of them are looking to move on, I pull the trigger on Tua Tagovailoa in a heartbeat, dude. Okay. Absolutely.
Behind this offensive line?
Well, I mean, so this is the deal. The offensive line is a problem. But if we're not able to build it back up in one offseason and we get a better head coach for Tua, you can build a playbook around an offense that doesn't pass protect for very long. And it helps when you have a Christian McCaffrey as a check down option. Absolutely. Yeah. Tua opens up so many more opportunities from a passing standpoint that Kyle Allen and frankly Will Grier just don't, that they will not do for you. So yeah, I would say so under those scenarios.
Okay. CK, what you got?
I'd say no. I mean, and I say this because I'm confident Cam will be back. You know, that's a big if. That's the big part of this whole conversation. If it's the difference between we have that pick and we can choose to either keep Cam and then build the wall in a more efficient way, get rid of, maybe shore up the right side, maybe worry about the guard positions, things like that, or even focus on the defensive line, then I say we go that route if we decide to keep Cam. That way we're putting ourselves we're building a team around him again. Now, if Cam has made the decision he doesn't want to be here, which I don't think is going to be the case, I think wholeheartedly that we go ahead and take Tua. I mean, because what's the bad? The other piece is if we don't have Cam, or do we really think that we're going to have success with a rookie quarterback behind that offensive line, regardless of what type of an offensive coordinator does? If a rookie quarterback comes into the NFL against some of these defenses that we have to face every year, they're going to have a hard time regardless of what the game plan is. So I personally say, if we're not going to have Cam, I say, and it pains me to say this, I say we stick it out with Kyle Allen, and I don't think we're going to have nearly the success that we had this year. And I think we might have a similar situation where we're drafting high again next year. So I say build the wall and focus on that.
Cam Newton is the unknown, right? Is whether or not he will be with us in the final year. As I continue to believe that he will play out his final season, I've heard, people like Jonathan Jones, who works in this industry. I mean, he works in the industry. He's been close to the team in a lot of cases. He doesn't believe that Cam Newton would play that final year in the contract. He believes there's going to be a trade. Now, if there's a trade with Cam Newton, then all of a sudden that complicates things. But I'm worried about this. I lean a little with CK on this. Is that there are a lot of holes on this team where we could really use like 2 years of multiple first-round draft picks to get the team back to a place in 4 or 5 years that's going to be great. And I think, I almost wonder, do you consider trading back if you are in that spot and you have Tua there and you just pick an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman in the first round and hopefully try to be what San Francisco is in a couple of years? But right now, there's a lot of concerns. But if Tua is Tua magical, man?
He's pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
Is he gonna be? Is he playing? All right, go ahead.
This is the deal with Tua Tagovailoa. I've watched him for a little over 2 seasons now, and yes, the number one thing that everyone in the chat room is saying, and that everyone knows, he has some very real injury concerns. I mean, he's been hurt. He was hurt at before the Heisman ceremony last year. Now he broke his hip bone, but apparently he's set to make a full recovery. But with that said, okay, so we have to factor that in. As a pure passer of the football, Tua Tagovailoa is incredible. The way he's able to read the field, the ball jumps out of his hand. He knows how to take care of the football. He throws just a beautiful deep pass. And it's, he's the type of player that he never gives up. His teammates love to play for him. So from a pure quarterback standpoint, he's never going to offer the mobility that, say, Cam Newton, obviously, or even a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields next year. But I kind of compare him to a slightly taller Drew Brees. I mean, he's that kind of player from the pocket.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, let's move on to the cat calls, but before we do, don't forget, if you want to check out a sporting event, maybe that will be fun. You could the Hurricanes are going to be home on Thursday night. They're going to be hosting the Sharks, and you could attend that game by going to vividseats.com or downloading the Vivid Seats app, and you can get a ticket you like for a price you like. Go to vividseats.com. They have a rewards loyalty program. There's a 100% buyer guarantee for every purchase, from the biggest concerts and games to the hottest theater shows and more. Vivid Seats has it all. Download the app and join the Vivid Seats rewards loyalty program today. That's right. Use the promo code OVERTIME when you download the app, and you can get up to $100 discount on your first your first purchase if you use the promo code OVERTIME. All right, guys, let's move on to the calls after the post game. There's no intro to it. Let's just see what you got. I think a couple are going to be from from earlier today, and then I mixed them up and I started going back and down so we don't have all early calls.
Tony, before we start, can I just say one thing before we get into the calls?
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to be something that gets lost or something one of the callers bring up. I want to address it first. Dude, I think we saw the final play of Greg Olsen's NFL career today, and in the most heartbreaking way possible. Seeing that helmet to helmet, and then watching Greg Olsen's arms just go limp. I mean,
did you see his lips blow bubbles afterwards, dude?
Dude, he has a concussion. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And it's so depressing, man. Julius Peppers, Thomas Davis, Ryan Khalil. I mean, there are so many players that came back and tried to make a run with this team because they love this football team. They love the locker room. They love their teammates. And Greg Olsen, I feel, is going to be another one that just he'll be another great that will never have gotten his chance to win that Super Bowl. And it's depressing. And as Ruben Terry says, Olsen is an announcer now.
I was going to read that comment.
Yeah, Monday Night Football
is in dire need of him. In dire need of him. Yeah, and on top of that, he can open it up by talking about how CTE and concussions are a real thing in the NFL because dude, you saw his lips flutter, bro, after like a full 30 seconds after he had already been out. It was crazy. He got knocked, and they said, and man, who was it? Trent Green? Trent Green said he was out cold before he even hit the ground. So he
had the ball in his hands. And then as soon as he was hit, he just dropped the ball. His arms went limp. I've watched too many mixed martial arts fights to know when a guy is unconscious. And Greg was in another dimension. So yeah, man, for him, for his family, for his health, hang it up, join the broadcast booth, and
I didn't think about that would be his last snap of the season. Because if you're not going to play anymore, man. God bless. Greg Olsen, sorry that he came back. He battled back. A lot of these guys wanted to be here this year. And at least that's what Gerald McCoy has told us over and over. And you know that Gerald McCoy, think about this. Gerald McCoy had the option of being a Raven right now.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing. All right, let's get to the Cat Calls line. The number's 252-228-5098. You can be a part of the C3 Panthers post-game show. Let's see what you got.
Oh, my God. What the fuck happened? How was there no one there on that Geist run? We had them bottled up, and then they ran all the way to the 10-yard line. That's some bullshit. I am dying on Cody's Hill now. Fire Ron Rivera. I don't give a shit. Fire him mid-game. It's Joey Escobar, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that first.
It's okay, Joey Escobar. Thank you for the call and the comment. And Greg, you mentioned this. Is there an opportunity that Ron Rivera now? It seems like his fate is sealed.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Does anybody think Ron Rivera can survive what is going on right now?
No, not.
Yeah.
There is not a chance that anything will. They can win out the remainder of this season, and it's not going to overturn the fact that Ron did a horrible job for the first part of the season. A lot of people are going to point to the fact that he did well with the backup quarterback. Problem is, our defense faltered tremendously in that timetable, and he was defensive coordinator in all intents and purposes. So, I think Ron is out. I think they're.
Would you have said that, CK? Would you have said that, CK, if we won today?
No, because I think he fought his way back after the New Orleans game. Like, I think that New Orleans game being the way that it was, I thought that maybe he had an opportunity to be able to put a stamp on the end of this season and end with a above 500 record. Now, I think all hopes of that are gone. I think Dontari Poe being lost to the IR is a bigger loss than we realized. And I think Greg Granderoden at this point, what this offensive line did, was he the part that was holding everything together. I'm not saying he was the greatest, guard in the league, but
was he like the best player on the damn line? Maybe, arguably, yeah.
Well,
other thing about this, one more thing back to the Geist part. Poor Shaq Thompson.
I know.
Oh, dude.
Guys, Shaq Thompson is a meme now. Shaq Thompson. Oh
Why
my God!
Why are we talking about Luke Kuechly losing the step when Darius guys sent Shaq Thompson's soul to the nether realm?
Because Shaq Thompson was
it's not either or. It's not either or. One's just embarrassing. The other one is concerning. Yeah. But Shaq Thompson is what Rondé Barber has been in my mind now. For every Washington Redskin fan, because for every time I think of a Jonathan Stewart mashing Rondé Barber to the ground like that, the same thing, except for Geis did it to a damn linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring up real quick. I know we've had this debate on the C3 Panthers podcast for the last couple of weeks about coaching versus playing, and I want to go ahead and concede that. I do think that the coaching staff needs to be changed. One last point I will make, because I know everybody's brought this up, is the whole Jeff Fisher and what's the Rams coach name?
McVay.
McVay.
Oh,
They were talking about, look how he turned them around in 1 year. Well, look where the Rams are at right now with a better team than they had last year. So that just lets you know that it is not all coaching. It sometimes has to do with players. They have a better team this year.
I don't know if they have a better team. Why do you say they have a better? Yeah.
Because who did they lose?
Their offensive line.
They lost a healthy Todd Gurley. I'll tell you that much.
Well, no, they didn't have a healthy Todd Gurley last year.
But they did for the majority of the year.
They gained to Jalen Ramsey on defense. So okay, well, maybe not the same team, but a damn good team, and they're 6-5 this year. So
I tell you this is that
coaching does not control all. Is all I'm saying.
A coach maybe is the difference in 2 wins of the year, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Actually, no. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to say no. I think, is that the coach is the foundation for the entire organization. His workability, his ability to see where things are going wrong, where they're going right, and to make good decisions, to be able to interact with personalities. It's almost, you can't quantify it. And this goes from how you organize practices to how you interact with your assistant coaches to how and it all trickles down, I would think. And what we're seeing right now is that we've looked at teams like the Miami Dolphins, like the Washington Redskins, like the New York Jets, and we have looked at them with an elitist nose in the air, and maybe we shouldn't.
No, there are
because
brothers.
we are there are brothers.
Them. Like
Exactly.
We are just
it's a mess. It's a fucking mess.
Disappointment in every term of phrase and every way you can use the word. We're a disappointment, man. Yep. We're embarrassing. And when bad teams like that are making you look bad, I mean, there was a point in time where we all thought that the Falcons and the Redskins were like the worst teams in football. That in Miami,
yes,
and then they
both beat us.
And they just and
Miami beat Philly today.
Not only did they beat us, but they did whatever they wanted to with us.
Yeah.
Like it was from top to bottom, everywhere they just kicked our ass, man. And I don't know. You have to question everything you know about all the players on this team, man. Everyone's playing bad. I mean, it's on everyone. It's the players and it's the coaches because no one is doing their job well. Everyone is incompetent. And that's why I'm saying you're going to see who David Tepper is because some real big-time decisions have to be made now.
All right, next call.
You know who it is. 14-6. Kyle Allen just missed a 75-yard ball to Curtis Samuel. Oh my God!
G Baby probably has like 10 calls,
Curtis
right?
Samuel fucking bird. This is a story
Because this is early.
Season, fellas. Oh my God! Wide open. Fuck! Oh my God! That's just one of those plays where you see it, you see the ball, you see him wide open, and it's like, oh, overthrown. Oh my God. If we lose this game, if they come back, I'm going to be fucking hot.
Oh, man.
You're hot. Next call.
Yo, what's going on, C3? This is Theo from Asheville. It's about the second quarter right now, and just not to put down Kyle Allen in any way, but I remember at the beginning of the season when Cam went out, I had all these Panther fans who, they're Panther fans, don't get me wrong, but they don't really know a lick about football. Going on about Kyle Allen's next franchise quarterback and this, that, and the other. And, looking at it from where we are at this point in the season, it just kind of disgusts me. I feel so bad for Cam Newton. He's one of the most, underappreciated and attacked quarterbacks in the league. I feel like people expect so much from Cam Newton that when he's not MVP caliber quarterback, people just want to attack him. And I just think, looking at this point in the season and how Kyle Allen's playing, he's got a lot of mistakes in him. And, we're really missing Cam Newton. And for all those guys that were saying Kyle Allen is the next franchise quarterback, we just need to move on from Cam, I just have to disagree with them. They're just basically brainless after watching this season. So, let me know your thoughts on that and keep up the good work, man. I'll probably call back in later unless the Panthers lose, and then I'll probably be in bed asleep.
Well, good night. Good night, sir. I would like to remind that we printed these T-shirts, the I Stand With Cam T-shirts. There are a couple still available. Limited run. And this it goes back. I saw Brandon Herbert in the chat room. Welcome, Brother Herbert. I love Brother Herbert, man. He knows how to get this podcast stimulated. And yeah, exactly. Because when he calls into the Cat Calls line, it brings it brings all of these other conversations that come with that passion. But he was always very critical of Cam Newton, and not critical like he didn't like Cam Newton, but saying that he wasn't perfect. And he always made a lot of good points on that. But I just continue to think like this, and this is kind of like what I always knew about Cam, and this is why I fell in love with him. This is why Tony Dunn's infatuated in love with Cam Newton.
You said you were gay, Cam, right?
It's those little blemishes.
You said that multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I say it all the time. Those blemishes, whether it be a birthmark under your thigh or your butt cheek or whatever it is, they're all acceptable because of the beauty of Cam. You know what I'm saying? And that is the thing, is Cam gives us a chance to win every Sunday. And when we don't have him, we don't have a chance to win every Sunday. Then all of a sudden everything's got to be perfect. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed at everybody but Kyle Allen in this game. I know everybody wants to say Kyle Allen. He is sorry. He's sorry. He's fine. He's sorry. But Curtis Samuel is also continued dropping balls, not running his routes properly. Cody, is Curtis Samuel going to get better?
Yeah, I mean, yes, dude. Listen, there's a
touchdown this game, right?
Yeah, he caught a touchdown this
game. Yeah, he did. The guy fell down right in front of him. Everybody act like, oh, he got these big ups. And no, the dude just fell down right in front of him.
Curtis Samuel has one primary role on this team, and that's to stretch the defense.
Yes.
And there is not a quarterback on our roster that is capable of doing it. Now, that kind of bleeds into this, which I think is legitimate. Like, if our offense can't stretch the field and Kyle Allen can't throw that deep ball, why are the Carolina Panthers so insistent on not seeing what they have in Will Grier?
Thank you.
Why? I mean,
is next week the week? Is next week the week?
No, nope. I don't think that you're going to see him one time this year.
I agree.
Because we have this old mindset of, but we don't want to ruin his development because, it's a bad team or he's not ready yet. Dude,
you're not developing Kyle Allen anymore. It's over.
No, well, I'm saying about Will Grier. I'm not talking about Kyle Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you put Will Grier in the football game and at least see what kind of talent you have? Listen, you never judge a quarterback based off of their rookie season anyway. Let them play some football.
Can I give you another reason why you should do it, Cody? Another reason you should do it is, imagine if you could manufacture a way for Will Grier to look good. And if you did that, what that does is that gives you better leverage against Cam. It gives you better leverage against free agency. And what I'm not saying is all of a sudden that Will Grier is the solution. But if you see some promise out of him, all of a sudden you say, well, we can go into next year. We can bring Cam. We can make this. We could have Kyle Allen in a real QB competition with Will Grier. But if the Panthers continue to tell us that Will Grier isn't good enough right now at all, then we automatically assume he's not good for the future either.
Yeah.
Well, why did they draft him?
Thank you.
Well, that's what we've been asking.
If you don't plan on using him, why did you draft him?
Like,
We've
the
been
way to
asking
draft
that
it.
question forever, right?
Yeah.
Since the draft party. All right, let's
the
go.
Quarterback, but hold on. The quarterback is the most important position. It makes sense to play Will Greer now because, okay.
Yes,
let's say
it does. It
but
does.
let's say
And you
that
can get a lot of
play-
value.
But and okay, so for example, we've been talking about Cam Newton being traded. It's starting to make more sense to me, even though I hate it, because if you're Cam Newton and you play next year for a bad team and he needs a new contract, and the Panthers aren't going to resign you, and then the last year of film that you have is terrible.
It's shitty, yeah.
If another football team is willing to pay Cam Newton right now, well then of course it's going to go there. So if you're going to trade Cam Newton, at least you know, okay, is this pick that I'm getting from whatever team, is this capital for me to help get another quarterback, or is this another player to help build around Will Greer, the quarterback that we already drafted?
Well,
so
let's think about it like this, man. I'm going to put the situation out there. Like I said, look, my main position is to keep Cam, let him have one more year, and because I'm a Cam guy. Cam is my man.
Yep.
But I have to look at it realistically. What if we trade Cam to the Bears? We pick up Khalil Mack, and we draft Tua.
Well, let's say the Chargers.
What does our team look like next year then?
Let's say the Chargers, because they're not going to give up Khalil, and number two, the Bears don't have a first-round pick. So
okay.
First down.
Fair point.
So yeah, okay. So the Chargers, but the point remains the same. What you just asked. Yeah, man. Listen, that's 100%. It's going to be a pick that helps us put talent around Will Greer or another piece on defense or whatever, or it's going to be more capital to try and hit big in 2021 with either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields.
You want that Trevor Lawrence pick, don't you?
But no, I'm just. But it's not. No, I said Justin Fields too, because it's about.
You're right.
It's about the long. The quarterback is the most important position on the football field, no matter what. So if you do not have your surefire franchise quarterback, you're dead on arrival, man. And these are the questions that David Tepper and everyone in the front office are having to deal with right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next call. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hey, I know this is my third call. I'm going to make it really, really quick. Just wanted to say, just in case you didn't hear me.
But he said that's his third call.
You missed a wide open.
I'm not playing them in order.
That third down or the fourth down play, too. So fuck you, you stupid son of a bitch.
Because I didn't want to play all ones from the very beginning of the game to start the show. Next call.
Gotcha.
I think we just need to take a second to let this soak in. To let it soak in that the Carolina Panthers, with what's supposed to be a great defense, Christian McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, a great coaching staff. But we just lost to the Redskins. The Redskins.
Yep.
They are
2-9
coming into this game. The Redskins. Okay? Look, the defense, they left out a lot of running yards. They're not a strong defense. But the defense, they're not horrible. All right? They can keep us in games, but they can't win us games. They're just not to that elite level yet. And
Which is almost just as bad.
I mean, they have the talent, so I mean, you have to turn your head to the coaching. I don't know how you can't look at this team and not put a majority of the blame on Ron Rivera and Norv Turner. I mean, 4 different times I've seen this team get stopped short on the goal line. I don't care who's your quarterback. You cannot let that happen inside the 5-yard line. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. Running up the middle doesn't work. And I'd say to run it to the outside, but we don't have any tackles. We don't have any guards. Darrell Williams is a joke. He's a fool. He's a joke. He doesn't belong in the XFL, all right? He needs to be gone, all right? And Ian Thomas, I thought he was dead. I'm glad to see he's back. I mean, how could you not use Ian Thomas? And Greg Olsen is aging, and it's a perfect time to get him reps and get him ready. Ron Rivera does not know how to utilize rookies correctly. We've seen it over and over again. And this game, the game's just painful to watch. I don't even have fun. I just sit there. I don't get, overly up. It's just sad. It's just sad to watch this team. Another mediocre season, another 7-9 season, and I'm with David Tepper. is unacceptable, and it's time for a change. Oh, and to all the people who go, oh, Kyle Allen is better than Cam Newton. Get the fuck out of here. He was never better. He never will be better. Cam Newton is the answer. Kyle Allen never was, okay? Let's maybe see some more goose cut, see if he's a good backup. I don't hate Kyle Allen, but he's not the answer. Thanks, guys, for listening to my rant.
Oh, thanks for the call. Go ahead and respond, guys.
So, go ahead, Greg.
So I agree 100%, man. They're not making the right decisions everywhere. And it's not one player that's causing this. We have one player this year that is playing phenomenally, and that is Christian McCaffrey. Other than that, we're garbage everywhere.
DJ, we still I still got a lot of love for DJ.
Okay, I'll give you that. DJ's playing well. He is, but
you're right. But the point remains the same, is that there are too many problems.
Yes.
There are too many problems, and they are systemic. And Cody, the John Matsko thing. Why are the line is it that different than? I mean, I know that we think that the players on it right now are better than what we've had in the past.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the fact that we've had players rotate a million different positions this year, and none of them seem to work out at any of them. Like, even Taylor Moton's getting beat a lot now, and we thought that he was one of the strengths of our offensive line. I mean, there's no cohesiveness. There's, I mean, again, this is just if I was a coach GM, I want my offensive linemen to be some gangsters, dog, willing to throw down and fight and put you in the dirt, and don't you dare lay a finger on my quarterback. But there is none of that in this football team, man. The offensive line is terrible. That's why you can't put all this loss on Kyle Allen. But at the same time, Kyle Allen isn't doing well. Everyone is not doing their job, and that affects the guy next to him. It affects the defense. It affects the offense. Everyone's playing bad right now, and this is. I mean, I know I'm on repeat at this point, but it's 100% a Ron Rivera problem. It's 100%. I mean, I say 100% in that he is not doing anything to properly fix this situation.
Who would have thought that you can have two meltdowns like last year? I mean, if you think about it, it's like really, this is the same meltdown, other than Cam not being. I mean, Cam being the reason we got melted down last year. But our defense stunk last year. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. And how many games now have we lost down to the final play?
4.
Too many.
4 games.
What happened today? Quickly before we go to the next call, what happened at the end today? Tell me.
Kyle Allen missed a wide open Jarius Wright in the right side of the end zone.
Yeah.
Was he under? But he was under duress. He was under duress.
But
he was running around for no reason.
Yeah.
He was under duress, but like you said, it was his own fault. He was running around for no reason. He had a guy wide open while he was in the pocket. He could have made that pass.
Yeah, he was trying to extend the play and move out, and he ended up moving out too far. Jarius Wright was open for like 5 seconds. And this is my point. Kyle Allen doesn't even look over there. He's not a quarterback that goes through his progressions. He's a one-read player. Guys, we have to call a spade, man.
I told you he's a one-read.
There is a reason that Kyle Allen never won a starting job in college. He never did it at Texas A&M. He transferred to Houston and couldn't win the job in Houston. So, I mean, listen.
But he was the top high school recruit. I'm so sick of hearing that.
Elvis Presley was the king of rock.
What happened on that one play where he threw it to the Redskins through the end zone, and the Redskins, like, they almost intercepted it? Jarius Wright was he?
That was a touchdown.
It was still like 5 yards to his right.
But he could turn around and look right like he was supposed to? Well, I don't know.
I think it was both. Obviously, his route did not end in the stands.
But he put it in a spot where that ball could have been caught if Jarius Wright would have ran the route and turned right. He could have caught that ball and been a touchdown. So I don't know whose fault that was, but that wasn't a bad pass. And I don't want to put it all on Jarius Wright because I don't know what the route was, but the ball was there to be caught for a touchdown. Had the route been run the way it was maybe supposed to, or maybe Kyle Allen had the wrong idea, I'm not sure, but that ball was there to be caught for a touchdown.
All right, the number is 252-228-5098.
Yo, what's up, C3? This is Theo from Asheville calling again. I just want to get your thoughts on this beautiful Kyle Allen performance. Kind of fed up with Kyle Allen not being able to throw the ball. He just has no pocket presence. I can't deal with this Kyle Allen anymore, man. And for all the idiots who are saying Kyle Allen was a future.
Yeah, nobody really said. People that said that realistically, or nobody said that realistically. Yeah, exactly. Like myself.
And they also had some deep-seated Cam Newton hatred in there already.
Yes.
Stay away from my man. Next call.
What's up, C3? This Nova Black, man. I was calling while watching the game, and I just wanted to point some things that I seen, man. The defensive line, of course, they gassed Kyle Allen, ass. But what I don't like is I'm looking at these guys playing, and these guys are just quitting on the fucking play, man. Motherfuckers are just standing there looking at running backs, run right past their ass, man. Like, what the hell? Jerry McCoy out there playing with all he got. You see that boy pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. I thought I seen him. I wasn't sure. I thought I seen him playing pole position at the 1 or whatever. I mean, the 0 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the 0 technically would be 3-4, but it look like they playing 4-3 to me. Anyway, I'm just frustrated with the shit that I'm seeing. The play calling ain't bad. Kyle Allen is exactly what he is. Not a franchise quarterback. I can't wait to Cam Newton come back 100%. I promise you, if we had 100% Cam Newton, all of them fucking losses would have probably been a win, maybe except for one
about that.
against the 49ers. But again, if we had Cameron Newton, I don't think the 49ers would have beat up on us like that. You know, nobody would have beat up on us like that because they got to respect Cam Newton coming out of the backfield, too. They don't have that to worry about with Kyle Allen again. There's just some bullshit going on out here today.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Kyle Allen had some skates today.
When the daggone podcast kicked off after the damn game. I might call back again. This shit got me mad. I'm about to relapse.
Nova, don't relapse. That don't sound good.
Oh, man.
That part. But, man, Nova brings the best calls all the time. He has his finger on the pulse of this team. It's true, man. It's true. And
we're going to need to do a Cat Calls Hall of Honor at some point, where we just put the most legendary cat callers, and they're in a league of their own, man. Nova is one of them. G. Cavassier is one of them.
Yeah.
J-Dub. We got some great ones.
Yep. All right. Next call.
Guys, I just heard we had like 220 rushing yards the most since week 2 in 2017, and we're still losing to the Redskins. Like, can we fire Rivera now? And Norv?
We're calling for it.
Next call.
What's up, C3 fam? Chef Jeff here. Finding myself in really the most surreal position and thought process for this game that I've ever had as a Panther fan. Going into it, I've been on the train of, I kind of want to just lose out, so there is no excuse for Ron Rivera not to get fired. Right now, there's just a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, about 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And I'm kind of happy that we lost this game. It sucks for the team. I mean, that means we're probably closer to a rebuild. But if you don't look at this, if Tedford can't look at this and see that we need motherfucking Cam Newton, then I don't even want him as our fucking owner, because it is obvious that Ron, Marty, and Norv going to be gone, hopefully, if they lose out. Keep that energy rolling for it. You can't start over with a new quarterback. Love our man Cam. He is coming back. Thankfully, he made a little push for it at his little Thanksgiving thing. He said, "Charlotte, I'll give you my home," and that made me feel good. And Cam Newton is coming back next year, guys. Let's put that out into the Panther universe. All right, he is coming back next year. He's gonna be an MVP again, and he's gonna take us to the Super Bowl. Maybe not next year, but the year after, for sure. Putting it out there. You got to will it, guys. You got to will it. Anyways, I'll be listening. Sorry I couldn't make it to the game today with you guys. Couldn't even get rid of the tickets, honestly, and had to work. But hopefully things will be looking up. I mean, let's just hope that this continues, that this shitty defensive play continues, and the shitty play by, not play by Kyle Allen, but just play calling by North Turner and just, basic backup shit by Kyle Allen. Let's hope it continues, and we can finally shut the door on Ron Rivera. Thanks, guys. I'll be listening.
Love Chef Jeff.
For the call, man.
Yes, love Chef Jeff, and there is something to that. Is that when we came out and won those first two series, up 14-0. Again, there was a slight fear that this might result in us just wavering in the purgatory of a 500 team and not knowing what to do. I'm with him entirely on this, and the only thing, though, when it comes back to bringing back Cam now is we've got to wonder if there is a lot of credence to that. Why should you play that final year of that contract with a team that you don't know much about? But I do want to put good things into the universe, like Chef Jeff said. Did you guys see Thomas Davis tweeted out, and he didn't have to do this. He said, "My best years of my career were after injury. Don't quit on Cameron Newton. I'm not." Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing it. But, hey, that's a legend right there that's on another team. They're getting curb stomped right now as a team, by the way. But we need, the idea that Cam Newton's career is over is something that people have assumed that is not written yet.
Yeah, it's a media run narrative.
Absolutely.
It's a media push narrative. There's not a lot of sense to be had when you hear people on ESPN or Fox or whatever talking about the Cam Newton situation. I don't know. I think that we've kind of alluded to it now. It all depends on Cam and his contract and what he wants to do. But yeah, cousin Chef Jeff, man, I echo the same sentiment, man. I believe the same thing. You put it out there in the universe, and it'll come back to you. I want Cameron Jarrell Newton to be the Panther quarterback for the next bunch of years, man. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm hoping that's what we do. I want that to happen so bad, and I don't know if it will. I honestly do not know. I have no inclination as to what the Panthers are going to do moving forward, but I certainly hope that it's with Cam Newton under center.
A ton of people watching right now, 112 people watching the stream. If we could get you guys to support the show by giving us a thumbs up, that would mean a lot to the longest running Panther podcast. We've been grinding every Tuesday for 7 years, making this show happen, and we're going to keep coming every Tuesday live, 9 p.m. You can find our work on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Just Google the C3 Panthers podcast. If you're trying to subscribe, we could use your review and your support. That's right. Smash the thumbs up button, share the show with a friend, and even consider giving the show a donation so we can keep this sucker going. Let's go to the next call.
What's going on, guys? I'm not even finished watching this game yet. And if we lose, I don't care about us losing. But I will say, Ron Rivera, if he's not fired after this game, losing to the Redskins and how we lost, I'm going to kind of question our owner. And people can say what they want or whatever. It really is like dreadful that he still has a job. Play without passion. We make the same mistakes every week, and that's where coaching comes into play.
Yeah, no passion.
It's ridiculous that we still constantly have to hear the same old crap at every press conference. Missed opportunities. Will, as a head coach, are you ever going to fix the goddamn missed opportunities?
Yeah.
You have fired our
baffling to me.
kicker because he missed kicks.
And, I mean, it's not even just one player, one thing. It's just we're not a good football team. And we won't be a good football team until we get rid of the man at the top. So if David Temper do not fire him, then it's going to show, it's going to put my lack of faith in ownership. Because if you can't see this crap, he said he doesn't want to put up with mediocrity. Well, we're not even mediocre right now. We suck. We're worse than mediocre. We are subpar. And it pisses me off that we put up with this crap for years and years. That one Super Bowl that we went to did not last him for his whole career. That's 1 year. Great. He had a great season. Look at he's literally got a 50-50 record almost. And probably now it's probably below 50%. So get him out of here. I'm done with it.
Yeah, I think actually Ron Rivera became a worse coach after the Super Bowl year. Let's keep going with the calls. The number's 252-228-5098. Next call.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I lied. One last thing. I know I said I wasn't going to put any blame on just one player because the whole team sucked. But Kyle Allen, you're a bum. You're a fucking bum. Get the fuck out of here. If anybody tried to say that he's better than Cam Newton, I swear to God, I'm going to smack the shit out of his ass.
I don't think anybody's
or
trying
their
to say
ass,
that.
whoever it is. Like, because it pisses me off. He missed a wide open Curtis Samuel.
Amen.
He's dancing in the pocket. Some of those sacks were on the offensive line. Some of those sacks were because he why wasn't he throwing to Christian McCaffrey? Why? It's like he refused to throw the goddamn ball to Chris McCaffrey. They showed the one that he got picked off. Christian McCaffrey, Landy Collins went in on DJ Moore. Christian McCaffrey literally was wide open. That would have been a long touchdown because nobody wasn't over there by him. But good old Kyle Allen, he always know how to disappoint. How the fuck do you miss that? And then, like, we can't stop the goddamn run. Oh. Look at every single year, even our 2015 year. Everybody, we might have had decent defenses, but you're a defensive fucking head coach. Why the fuck can't we stop the goddamn run? We can't stop the run for years and years, and people act like they forget about it, like that we've always been able to stop it. No, we might have had decent pass defenses, but goddamn it, we could never stop the goddamn run. And now it's just leaking its freaking head all over us. And Kyle Allen, oh my God, Kyle Allen, you're a bitch, boy. What a god.
We're putting Brandon Herbert in the
fucking
ring,
hate
dude.
you, Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you listen to this shit, but I fucking hate you.
Oh, wow.
Get off the goddamn team. If they pay this son of a bitch, because I don't care if they pay him $2 million. If they pay this son of a bitch anything, instead of letting his ass walk and paying Cam Newton, I'm going to get pissed off. Well, shit, don't even pay Cam Newton. Matter of fact, let him play his last year out if you think that he's not going to be there for the future. But he's got to be on this goddamn team next year because this quarterback is not going to work.
Agreed.
Those were the first two calls from what? Now, hey, Cody, going back when he said in the beginning of the show, this is my third call. His third call was when he finally pulled himself, like, calm down
a little bit, yeah.
I didn't realize he was so fired up. That is the most passionate 4 minutes of calls you're going to find in Panther Nation. Way to go, Brother Herbert, man. I love it. Keep them coming.
So, wait, hold on. No. I gotta pause it real quick.
Yeah,
It'll just be real quick. I love that every time we play a bullshit team, like Atlanta or the
They
Redskins,
always show up in their chat
they
room.
always come in our chat room talking like they're Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, is there
Let
somebody
me-
in our chat room?
Oh, there's a few.
Oh,
of them.
man,
Listen, let me
there's
make
some of
this
them.
clear. The Redskins aren't shit. They're not shit now, and they ain't never gonna be shit. So, hey, enjoy your victory today. Yeah, your team kicked our ass, but you by far have the worst owner in the NFL, and that's not going away anytime soon.
And your
dude.
stadium is a god-forsaken train wreck.
It's a dumpster fire. Your team's a dumpster fire. Keep talking that shit and see who's better next year.
Wasn't the first time they've beaten the Panthers in Bank of America in like 21 years?
21 years.
Well, I know the last time we played them about
1998.
2 or 3 years ago, we played them in Washington. They beat us.
That was last year. That was
Last
DJ
year,
Moore's
okay.
fumbles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they were making a big deal out of it on the broadcast because it was who
Steve
was
Berline.
Hey,
Yep.
dude, imagine being proud to be a Redskins fan, dude. What a life.
it? No, you know what? You
that
should.
must
I would
be,
say
man.
be proud of being a Redskins fan. You know why? Because it's so hard. And I do.
grew
I
up a
do.
Redskins fan.
I do want to bring this to Panther fans' attention. It's for the last decade I've trumpeted that Cam Newton has made us not know this feeling.
Yeah.
For the last 7 years of this podcast, that is what I've said. And then for the last 8 years of Cam Newton's career, we don't know what it feels like to be the Redskins.
And
now,
extent, but
today,
we've had
we-
pretty bad last 3 years. I mean,
Nah,
There's
but
no
the
denying it.
Redskins are bad without having a future ever. They don't even have a GM, dude.
True.
They don't have a GM. They fired the one like they are the worst organization other than arguably in the NFL. And we got beat by that today. So kudos to you on that. Enjoy your moments. We're going to enjoy our moments, which is like if we would have won this, it would have just been another stupid ass win that would have made some of these questions more difficult for us. Brandon LG, thank you for supporting C3 Panthers podcast. Coming in with a $20 donation in the super chats. Man, you are the bomb, brother.
Yeah.
Echo everyone, he says. We need better O-line before thinking about Cam coming back. Also, we are okay with the 4-3 defense. Don't understand the change. Luke is overwhelmed, not making plays like before. Kyle is a backup, not a starter. Brandon LG, check, and check.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with all those
All of
points right
all
there.
of it.
Let's go to the next call. I think I started it.
Jeff, again. That's kind of a tongue twister. I'll keep it short. Just got a couple more points to add. Greg Olsen, I don't know. He did get up and, walk off the field. He does have a concussion, but I've always thought that this year might have been his year for retirement. Maybe he comes back next year.
Today
I
sealed
would like
it.
to see him come back
I
next
think
year.
so, too. I don't want him back next
Probably
year.
still has a little bit in the tank for some limited action, but
No.
I hope we didn't just witness Greg Olsen's last play on the field.
I think we did.
I think we did.
I don't
Jeff.
think we see him return this season.
I think we've seen a decline
What do
in
you guys
his
thought?
performance anyway.
And let's see, positive. Got to make a positive sandwich out of this for the end.
A positive
hard,
sales.
Positive
You're
is
not a worker.
we are
of
one more
positivity.
loss closer to Ron Rivera being gone.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Keep pounding.
Okay.
All right, let's talk
Positive.
about CK. I want you to. Tell us your thoughts on the Greg Olsen situation.
I mean, I thought from the beginning of the season that I thought Greg Olsen was going to end up retiring and going to the booth just based on what happened with Monday Night Football and Witten leaving and going back to the Cowboys. It was a little quick for them to be able to make for Greg to make that decision to move then. So the fact that that's still going to be open 9 times out of 10 because it's not a great production would attest to that. But I thought also there's been a couple of good games from Greg Olsen, but for the most part, even when he gets the ball in his hands, you see a lack of explosiveness. I mean, obviously
He's never been explosive. He's always been Uncle Greg in the
But he's got the
snowshoes.
dad run right now. He's not Uncle Greg. He's dad.
He's
Uncle
always had the dad run.
He's had that, but it's worse right now. Like at least he would be able to find the soft zone. Now he's not running 10 yards down the line before he's actually able to turn around and get the pass. So I don't think he's able to get that. He doesn't have the athleticism he once did. And I feel like when you see a lot of these sacks, a lot of times they're missed assignments by Greg Olsen too. Greg Olsen, when you look at that sack Montez Sweat had on Kyle Allen earlier today, it was a complete just let the guy run by, and Greg Olsen was, it was just a blown assignment. I think you see a lot more of that than you ever have in his career here with Carolina. I hate to say it, but I feel like you're starting to see that decline from age and everything starting to impact him a little quicker than I'm sure he was hoping.
I tell you this is there's no way Greg Olsen's going to be a Panther next year at $11.8 million against the cap.
Yeah, no way.
You still got almost $4 million in dead money if you cut him, but you free up $8.
And it goes back to this question that we've been talking about, man. Or the statement that really, people don't understand how close we are to a rebuild. I mean,
I think we're here. I think we're already here. I don't even think we're close. I think we're here at this moment.
If you look at the amount of people that we have to pay, the amount of positions that we're going to need, I mean, yeah, you've got to move on from a lot of these expensive contracts and spend the money that you do have wisely. And it's just unfortunate because I don't want to talk about Greg Olsen that way. Oh, well, he's too expensive. We got to move on. I mean, Greg Olsen, put it this way, he has been Cam Newton's #1 receiving option his entire time here in Carolina. Yeah, he had Steve Smith for 2 years, but when it mattered the most, when Cam Newton played his best football, Greg Olsen was his safety blanket, man. And now that's coming to an end. And Greg Olsen, yeah, you guys are right. He doesn't have the athleticism that he used to have even a few years ago. And it's time, man. I want, for the man, not just the player, but for the man, I want to see him keep his health, move into the commentating booth, and make these Monday Night Football games better than they are because they're unbearable.
Philip Goldman, I'm guessing a Redskins fan in the chat room asking about the juxtaposing the Olsen hit where the guy gets tossed versus Quinn, their punt returner. Do you remember that punt returner get blasted in the head?
Yeah.
I agree. One thing I will say is that we have not been very praising of the referees this season. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really not a lot of understanding of why things happen to me. It is a mess, and it was just a mess the other night on Thanksgiving. Seeing what was that one guy? He couldn't even say the words. The refereeing situation is a joke in the NFL.
The NFL is by far the worst officiated out of all the major sports that are on primetime television. Baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. NFL is by far the worst officiated, and the NFL continues to do these things to make you think that they give a shit about it. They don't, dude. They could make real changes to the way refs are paid and the way they learn. All these other different things. There are so many changes that they can make.
We got to have the football chip. We got to put the chip in the football. Like, if they can do that shit in tennis, tennis is the most digitally, like, how are a sport where it's just two people and one ball, how are they the most technologically advanced sport?
No.
So here's my take on that, because I think it's important because Phil does bring up a good point. I mean, because I think we've all felt like we've been on the opposite end of these calls, and luckily today we've been on the other side of them. And last week we had a few go our way as well. But here's my take on the whole thing, and this is my personal opinion, and it'll affect the Panthers just as well as anybody else. If somebody makes an illegal hit on a player and that player cannot return to the game, the person who made the hit should not be able to return to the game either. That is my personal take. If you take somebody out of the game, you should not be able to return either, especially if it's illegal, mainly.
Only if it's illegal.
The only problem with that mindset is that's like saying if you cause a car accident and the person dies, then you should be penalized worse than if they didn't die.
Oh,
that's not
then
true.
if you should kill them.
Yeah. You should be penalized the same either way.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, you
I
get
mean, I hate to be
works.
that rude about it or that kind of blunt about it, but that's kind of the way it is. You should be penalized the same either way.
Call it Uber,
it
folks.
Needs to be consistent,
That's what I say.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, if you kill somebody in a car accident, you get involuntary manslaughter, right? If it's your fault,
right?
True. Yeah.
If you don't, then if you don't kill them, then you get reckless endangerment or whatever that's called.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not get off the rails on that. Yeah, but I think there's an interesting point, CK, is that what you're saying is that if the illegal hit causes some sort of what if you just took a kid out there and you took a third stringer and you said go after the quarterback's knee every time?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same as just a knee and a bad hit. Anyway, it doesn't really matter is that the officiating has been poor throughout. I think this is that I don't really understand how they make these calls or why the Panther player was not ejected because it looked like a clear helmet to helmet.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I don't know
probably,
Go ahead.
It was probably more egregious. It was, in my opinion, it was more egregious because I think he was more defenseless than Greg Olsen was, in my opinion. Now, Greg Olsen had a much more severe reaction to it than the returner did, but that returner had
That is it. That's what it is. It's kind of like when we catch domestic violence on tape. We just have a bigger emotional response to it than if you told us that he knocked her out rather than us seeing her knock her out. And I think that's the point. I think that the play that the Panther had against the punt returner was more egregious. Keep going, CK.
That was really the point that I wanted to make. I don't think that the defender or the punt returner had more of an opportunity to defend himself than Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen was running down the field, and he made that initiate. I mean, I'm not saying he initiated the helmet to helmet, but he lowered his head. He was preparing for a hit, whereas the other guy was not able to prepare for that hit. But some might say that might be the reason Greg Olsen was knocked out. You know how they say if you tense up during a car accident, you're more likely to get injured.
I don't know how many of you listen to the Pat McAfee show, but I love it too. I love Pat McAfee, even though I disagree with this Cam Newton take, but whatever. I still love Pat. He's been talking about and really saying the name Al Riveron is terrible, dude.
Yeah,
Al Riveron is a dumpster fire. He's the head of officiating. Yeah. And kind of like Philip Goldman said in the chat, there's no consistency. Like, you could make the case that either one of those players should have been thrown out of the game, the Redskin and the Panther player, and, that's a consistent through line of how you officiate. But no one knows what is a pass interference, what the referees are willing to overturn, what they're just going to leave on the field. There's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's an absolute joke. And it continues to dilute the NFL's product.
Yeah, I actually think there is a rhyme and reason to it. It sounds crazy, but I'm always an advocate of this is a TV show, and it makes more money whenever you have bigger market teams be more successful. So for next Tuesday's show, I'm going to try to find the stats that the NFL has claimed have been missed calls and compare them to teams that they've called for this year and see which teams. Because I'm willing to bet you Green Bay, Dallas, the Rams, the Patriots, teams like that are in big markets that everybody wants to see win and be flourish, have gotten better calls this year than other small market teams like Carolina, Washington, Tennessee, stuff like that. So I want to bring that. I'm gonna bring that next Tuesday and see what happens. But I'm willing to bet that is a big reason and why the calls are the way they are is because of the fact that they want teams like Green Bay, New England, stuff like that in the end to be the teams that are, competing for the title, not teams like Carolina, Washington, stuff like that. So,
all right, 110 people watching the show, 54 likes. Smash that thumbs up button. Shame moment, shame moment, shame moment. Come on, give us a little support. We've been grinding for 7 damn seasons on this, and we're here after a Panthers loss to the damn Redskins. That deserves a thumbs up in its own right. Next call.
Hey guys, Kyle from VA. I'm gonna start off talking about Ron Rivera. One quick statement because I'm over him. Fuck him, he's done. But I don't even know if Ron Rivera wants a job here anymore because it's ridiculous how he's coaching. He refuses, absolutely refuses to develop our young talent. And fuck him. That's all I'm gonna say about him. Now, next thing. This just reminds me of just the whole going back to Cam Newton when he was a rookie and till now. Like, we never put any weapons with Cam Newton. Never gave him a damn chance. Said, Cam, put it all on your shoulders and take it to the promised land. And Cam balled out and did what he did. But that was all him. That was all Cam Newton. And now, McCaffrey, you know, we actually have weapons on offense now, but we need a quarterback to utilize it. And there's a possibility of getting rid of Cam Newton, who makes your team 200 times better than without him. We're going to get rid of him now. Like, are y'all trying to do the same thing to Christian McCaffrey that y'all did to Cam Newton, where Christian McCaffrey is the only source of fucking offense we have and just waste his talent? I mean, it's insane, man. I want to see Will Greer for the rest of the season. Do whatever you got to do in the offseason, but Cam Newton needs to come back to Carolina. If he does, and he's healthy, next year is going to be a whole different story. Our offense is going to be, it's going to be ridiculous. But yeah, I'm done with this season, man. I mean, I'm on the way to work. I know we just kicked the onside and recovered it, but we're having to rely on getting a fucking onside kick to beat the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a lot of people there, but fuck that, dude. You know, Redskins win. I'm going to thank them just for David Tepper's like, this is it, man. Like, this is it. We can't deal with this fucking shit no more. Ron Rivera, fire the motherfucker before he leaves the stadium. I'm good with it.
Yeah. Well, real quick to the
keep pounding.
Keep pounding, man. Real quick, I'll say to that call, while I feel like Christian McCaffrey is the only player on our team that's playing elite all year long, we've proven he's not the only source of offense. I mean, we scored 21 points today, and he didn't have a touchdown. So, I mean, he's not the only source of our offense. He is definitely the strongest offensive weapon we have and the most consistent. But DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, I feel like, are a very, very I don't know what the word to say is. They're adequate. They can do their jobs, and you know, DJ Moore is one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. So we have a decent offense other than Christian McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey is the only body that is consistent every week, that always shows up, gives you 100 yards no matter what. So you know, what he said in the call was very, very true to almost completely. But there were a few things I would adjust to his comments because, you know, I mean, DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, I feel like this season have done very well based on what they've had. They had a quarterback throwing to them, they did a whole lot better.
And, you know, it's easier to game plan for someone like Christian McCaffrey when you know that he's the beginning and middle and end of your offense, and everything runs through him. So you know that if you're able to take Christian out of a play, you've taken away over 50% of their options on that play. And, you know, to his original point about Ron Rivera, and we've been saying this, I've been saying this for a long time, today was a microcosm for one of the biggest problems that Ron Rivera has. After Greg Olsen gets hurt, then you see Ian Thomas, and Ian Thomas had 2 good receptions today. Now, it wasn't a breakout performance, but the point being, you're never going to see what your players are capable of unless you decide to play those players. And Ron Rivera does not do that. Our coaches do not do that. I mean, one of the things that the Ravens are so successful doing right now is they'll run out there with 3 tight ends. And you can check that to a pass play or a run play. I mean, you have options there, but, I mean, apparently that's too cool for Norv Turner and Ron Rivera and this Carolina Panthers team.
Well, it would be a lot cooler if Cam was back there. You would do that mess. But doing that with Kyle Allen don't really help that much.
But I feel like they're not
don't help
doing
as
shit
much
to help out Kyle. Like, I feel like they don't even know what to do.
I don't think this is. I don't even. I mean, and I'm kind of a Norv apologist. You know, I wanted Norv. I wanted to see Cam and Norv together. And by the way, Greg, I hope your proposal to your wife didn't go, and you're adequate. Will you marry me? Oh my goodness! This wide receiver
almost word for word how it went, but
adequate. Oh my gosh! No,
my wife is far superior to me.
Yeah, you know what? We've already learned that all the people on the C3 Panthers podcast have one commonality: we all marry up.
There you
and
go.
Look across the board.
We outkick the coverage. Yeah, we outkick the coverage definitely.
Exactly. I don't want to detract from, and this is why I'm okay with the Ron Rivera give me his head on a pike, whatever. Is I don't want to pull this conversation towards Kyle Allen and the offense, and that's why I feel like I'm sort of apologetic for Norv on this. But I mean, this is something deeper, larger, and I still think it continues to come back to the defense. His offense has been adequate.
Agreed.
You know, they did hit a lull though. You can't ask your defense to hold your team while your offense isn't moving the ball at all, which we did. We hit that lull after those first two scoring drives. So yeah, it's not like they should be absolved from all guilt. But I continue to think this is defensive side, and that continues. The fingerprints are on Ron Rivera at this point. Go ahead and donate to the show. Thank you for those 62 people who have liked the show. There's 110 people watching right now. That's awesome, man. We got a great post-game show, particularly since I would gauge that interest in the Carolina Panthers is at an all-time low right now in the 7 years we've done this podcast. Think about that, guys. Has there been a time where you have been more apathetic about the team than you are at this moment in the past 7 years? I don't know if I've seen fans like that, and I'm glad that we have a good enough community that's weathering through it. Let's go to the calls. 252-228-5098.
Ron Rivera is trash. Noah Turner is old trash. Kyle
old
Allen,
trash.
Fool's gold.
Stinky.
Garbage. It's time to clean house and start over again. This is ridiculous. Ron Rivera's brought nothing but mediocrity in North Carolina and the Carolina Panthers.
Oh,
straight garbage.
Good call. Look, the calls are almost serendipitous about what we're talking about. Next call.
Yo, what's going on, C3? It is Theo from Asheville. Man. Man. So, I just want to give my opinion on Kyle Allen, as I've already stated 18,000 times today. He reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you guys ever played Madden when you were younger. I was younger, and, I'd pick out a nice pass play on Madden, and I'd be like, ooh, that's a hot-looking route. And, I'd look at that receiver the whole time. I wouldn't look at any other receivers on the field. I'd have that one route picked out in my mind before. And, once I started seeing pressure, I would throw the football to him. That is what I see Kyle Allen as, and
that's a great point.
That's
a great point.
Once again, I just really don't see a future with this kid. I know he's young. I know he's got mistakes in him, but my Lord, you can see with that final play, he doesn't scan the field, and on the play before it, McCaffrey's wide open on the wheel route to the outside.
Yes,
he doesn't look.
He's
looking at DJ Moore. DJ Moore, when's DJ Moore going to get open? And I can't see us going much further than we are right now with this guy. Especially, there's some guys that are injury prone. He is mistake prone, man. He's full of them. And, he panics. We've had so many late game situations this year where he's panicked, and our play calling. I just want to go ahead and say, Cody, last week I said I was on the fence about, Ron, and I was kind of starting to jump the fence, man. And you said, this hill is for all of us, man. Da, da, da. And I got my bags packed right now, man. Just send me the address. I'm I'm ready to die on this hill with you, man. Ron Rivera has got to go if we want to see a better version of this football team. Man, I mean, just the play calls are, it's nuts, man. This game management play calls.
I love this
mistakes.
call. I love this
mistakes.
call.
We got to correct our mistakes, yada yada. I'm just tired of hearing Ron talk about how terrible they played today, and these certain situations that. Oh my gosh, man, this has just been a very depressing day. I think Pilardi is one of the best kickers in the NFL. Being a former kicker, I just think Pilardi's got a boot. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I'd pretty much scratch the team besides McCaffrey and
barely, but yes,
and Pilardi. Now, in all honesty, though, that was a joke.
My man went deep into the well. He's like, we're keeping our punter.
Cam can't come back soon. I get this season's probably over with, but I mean, we got to look at next season, and his shoulder's got to be better, or else this is just.
What a great call.
It's going to get worse.
Was a good call. Yep.
What a great call, Cody. They all, I told you they love you.
This hill is your hill. This hill is my hill.
It's Hamburger Hill, y'all. Don't try to take it. Yeah, it's Hamburger Hill. Don't try to take it, man. You're gonna get slaughtered.
Oh my
Join
goodness.
the hill, baby. Fire Ron Rivera on the hill. I've been on the hill. I was the originator on top of this hill. I wanted Ron Rivera gone at the end of last season, but
you built that hill.
I have
Yeah,
built.
he built that hill.
I have built this.
He built an army to defend it, an army of people to defend it. No, that's a sad thing when the takeaway from the call is scrap everybody but the punter and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, start over.
And DJ Moore. We'll throw DJ in there.
Yeah. Guys, and you know what? And don't forget, Luke Kuechly is on our team, and that's how you feel. We all feel right now.
No.
Next call.
Panthers podcast. How y'all doing?
G.
What's
up, man?
I am beyond fucking pissed. There is no way in hell we should have lost that damn fucking game, man. Fire Ron Rivera. It's embarrassing to be a damn Panthers fan. It really is right now.
It is.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. How in the living hell are you on the 1 yard line? How in the hell are you on the 1 yard line, then you get backed up like 3 or 4 fucking yards, man? Why in the living hell when they made that first down, Kyle Allen didn't go there and spike the damn ball? Why? To stop the damn clock. I don't understand, man. Why is Ron Rivera, you know what I'm saying, that dude fucking sucks when it comes to time management. He's fucking horrible, man. Then he fired his ass, Eric Washington. They fired every goddamn body. This shit make no damn sense, man. I mean, DJ Moore, he played his damn heart out. You know what I'm saying? Man crush, DJ Moore, that's my man crush, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I'm so damn pissed off right now, man. I'm telling you, man. If I wasn't a fucking Panther fan, I would burn all my fucking jerseys right now. But I'm going to rob for my damn Panthers, man. It doesn't matter, man. I'm going to rob for my damn boys. We're 5-7. So basically, I think we're eliminated from the damn playoffs. I don't know if we are going to make it. I seriously doubt it, man. But I'm telling you, man, if I was Tepper, I would fire Ron Rivera today. I would cuss his ass the fuck out, man. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my damn stadium. It's been fun. Get the hell out, man.
All right, so
everybody who's listening, always remember, y'all, keep pounding.
Nick from New Jersey, right? No, Nick from Massachusetts. If you're making the team, right? And Cody is the what were you, Cody? Were you the GM?
GM. He's got to be. Yeah.
Remember, and I didn't get a job. Give G. Yeah. Give G the ownership job. That's what I say. Because my man, he said, David Tepper, you gotta cuss this motherfucker out on your way out the door. Get the fuck out of my building, man. Oh, next call.
Yo, cat call. This is Nova Black.
Yeah.
Again.
Black.
I sat here and watched this damn game. We get down to the damn goal line. Why? Why do we not put Alex Armand in there and run some type of power? They looking for the finesse game. They looking for Christian McCaffrey. Play before last. McCaffrey open, man, again. The boy missing running the DJ, I understand, but you gotta look the field, boy. Anyway, why the fuck they didn't put Armand down there, man? at the goal line to run some type of power. They're doing the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again, man. Get North Turner old ass out of there, man. Cannon learn what he can learn from him now. Get his ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Get one of them new young motherfucking offensive coordinators or head coaches out of college, man. They're playing that new type of game with them new offensive weapons and stuff, man. Do something with Cam before we lose him. You heard me? Do something with Cam before we lose him, man.
Yerp.
Man, this fucking loss was on Kyle Allen, the defense, Ron Rivera, the players. Man, Ron done lost that locker room, man. Them boys ain't even playing out there like they supposed to be playing. Them boys out there like they just supposed to be a gimme because it's Washington or something. Like Ron supposed to be telling them that shit. Anyway, man, I'm tired of this shit, but I'm sticking it out through the season. I'm a Panthers fan for life. No back, sign out.
It's a tough place,
baby.
Tough place, Nova. We're with you, brother. We're with you. It's a tough place to be right now as a Panther fan.
And by the way, can I just say that even when Carolina recovered the onside kick, his team finally did a good thing to maybe try and come back and win this football game at the end. Ron Rivera's face looks like he just could not give less of a fuck, dude. I mean, whenever you look at Ron Rivera, there's no emotion from him. It looks like
that's good, and sometimes that's good.
No,
I used to be.
It makes everyone. I cannot tell you how many fans I've heard say this, Tony. It makes everyone.
I used to say the same thing.
Feel like he doesn't care.
I used to say the same thing.
There's no embarrassment. There's no anger. Listen, but get it. You're a game manager, quarterback, or coach. But at the same time, it's like, man, you're the guy that's supposed to build your team up in moments when they're down. And it's like, you're not calling the defensive plays, or I don't ever see him holding a sheet like he's calling defensive plays. He's not calling the offensive plays.
So, that's a good question. How do you call, how many, are there only like 5 defensive plays?
But dude,
seems like it.
What is he even doing?
Like he doesn't have a sheet?
And Nova Black made the best point, man. And I was saying it today with my brother, but we're watching at the end. Dude, this team could not. They've tuned Ron Rivera out. No matter what he's saying to him at halftime or before the game or after the game or during the week, it doesn't matter, man. They have tuned him out. They are not playing for him.
All right, so I used to say the same thing about Ron Rivera. This is back in 2012, 2014. And it was that he wasn't getting upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, or he wasn't happy. It wasn't. You wanted a guy that had a certain intensity to him. But then there's another side to that where Ron Rivera used to be. Here's the key. I still believe everything changed when he made it to the Super Bowl. I think he changed as a coach. It used to be that, like, that steely resolve was important. You know what I'm saying? Like, where everybody else was shaken and shook, he was steady and that kind of just stern the course, unshakable. But really, right now, he is, I think, moved to beaten. You know what I'm saying? I think at this point, Ron Rivera. How about this? If you think that it would be good for Cam Newton to have a change of scenery, right? If you're that type of person where you think his career might flourish in a different place, maybe it's time for Ron to have a change of scenery and rethink some of his things, because I think he's shook. I think he's beaten right now. That's what I see, a beaten man.
Yeah. He's gone from a coach that was out there to win the game and to do what I had to do to win, to now he is a coach that is doing everything he can not to lose. And I know it sounds like the same thing, but that is a huge difference in mindset. And he's doing everything he can to not lose right now. And when you're in that mindset in the NFL, it doesn't work, man. You're going to lose every time because you're not playing to win, you're playing not to lose. That's exactly what he's doing. Cody, I'm on your hill, man. I really am. I tried to debate the other side of it just to have.
It might be good for everybody at this point. Yeah. It might just be good for everybody at this point. Let Ron Rivera coach the Tennessee Titans. He'd make a great Titans coach. He'd make a great Jacksonville Jaguars coach.
Or Dallas coach.
I'd rather wait. Who's their coach? Vrabel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have Vrabel than Rivera.
Well, you can't say that right now.
Oh, I damn sure can.
No, you can't. Vrabel hasn't had any success. No, they're not. They got beat today.
They're 7-5.
They're 7-5. Yeah,
did they get beat by Indianapolis today?
They're alive.
They beat Indianapolis. Yeah. They beat Indianapolis.
They came back and won.
They came back and won. Yep.
Oh,
they're 7-5 right now.
31-17.
Ryan Tannehill is actually playing like a quarterback that's worth the damn. It's almost night and day difference.
How was Indy up 17-0 or whatever? Gosh, assholes.
How was Carolina up 14-0 and we lost that game?
Dude.
Screwing me in these pick'ems.
Exact same thing. Yeah.
All right.
I think we need to have a coach that is going to respect Cam Newton's abilities, right? I don't think Cam has ever been opened up to do what he needs to do to run this offense. I think 2015 was the closest we've gotten to him running the offense, and now that we have the possibility of getting another coach in here, we need to find out what Cam can do as a real general of the field, because I think
amen.
Just to be honest, right? We see what they're doing to Kyle Allen. You're holding back the reins. You're making sure he can't do it. How often have we said in the hurry up, Cam Newton is amazing? But that's because hurry up, guess what? Cam's calling the plays. He's reading the defense. He's not listening to an offensive coordinator telling him how to play the game. I'm just saying personally, I think you need to get a coach who's able to see that Cam Newton is able to do what a lot of elite quarterbacks can do, and that is read defenses, know what needs to be run, and make the decisions that are best for this football team.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, let's go with the next call.
Yo, can't call.
Oh, that's the same one. Here, next one.
It's a fucking disgrace.
All right, I'm gonna go refill my beer while this guy disgraces everybody. Cover me.
While you do that, yeah.
Cover me.
Like, we suck. I'm gonna tell you something. It's been a lot of years. It's been a long time since I've said we suck. And the last time I said we suck was back in 2011, and we drafted Cam Newton with the first overall fucking pick. We suck. We just lost to a 2-9 Washington Redskins team, which is in the NFC League.
At home, too.
Which means they're the worst division in the NFL, and they're the worst team in that fucking division, and we just lost to the worst team in the NFL. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Pathetic. I'm embarrassed. I'm fucking embarrassed. It's so bad, my boss just texted me, laughed my fucking ass off. Your team sucks just as bad as mine does. You know who his team is? The Cleveland fucking Browns.
Oh.
I'm done.
We're going to finish worse than them this year.
I can't believe this
That's
shit.
horrible.
I have nothing to say. Like, it's almost laughable. Like, I almost want to laugh. I almost want to cry. Like, this is pathetic. This is a fucking embarrassment. You know it's bad when you have fucking Marty Hurney next to North Turner in the box while he's calling play calls. Ron is gone and Marty Hurney's done. And that right there lets me know that Marty Hurney as a GM for the Carolina Panthers is done. North Turner is done. And Ron Rivera, they're all done. Him sitting next to North Turner while he's playing play calls, like, I've never seen that shit before. Man, I'm out.
Yeah, lots of frustration. I mean, listen, man, like, we're kind of at that point in the show where everything that can be said has been said and is now just being reiterated. We know what the problems are. We know that this defensive line and offensive line couldn't bust its way out of a brown paper bag, dude. We know that now. We know that Kyle Allen's not the answer. We know that we need a brand new head coach. Yeah, man, it's an embarrassing time to be a Panther fan. And like you said, Tony, who would have thought that, last year that we would have 2 years like this back to back. And
the collapse. That's the problem. It's the collapse.
Yeah, it used to be the opposite with Ron.
Yeah,
Ron used to be a December coach.
Told you. I'm telling you, something changed after that Super Bowl. The way he started talking, all of this changed. But you're right, CK, is that Ron kept his job several years in the past. by winning out and showing us that he got these guys to double down, triple down. But right now, I mean, maybe he don't have the horses in the stable, but I think that's hard to say compared to some of our past rosters. But right now, it's a beaten team.
I will say this: in all of my years of being a Panther fan, which, as I've said before, is as long as we've had Cam Newton, so 9 now. There has never been a time where I just felt like, who cares? Like I'm not like I didn't wake up today looking forward to the excitement of the Panthers game. I just hope that we didn't embarrass ourselves, and
like we did.
That's what we did, man. And somebody pointed it out on Twitter, and I noticed it too. We're not doing the Sunday giveaway no more, man. Where they give away a ball to a fan, to a kid. We don't do that anymore, man. This is a lifeless, soulless football team right now.
When did that change?
It's like over the last 2 years, ever since Cam Newton started dealing with the shoulder injury.
They were doing it earlier this year.
No,
but drink his own Kool-Aid.
But I feel like ever since last year, everything that we know and love about this franchise has just been slowly chipped away.
I don't like those giveaways. I think they're all fraudulent and fake. I think the most honest giveaway.
Well, if your son got one, he might not think so, or someone else.
No, I think actually, I think the most. So you're saying by the team gave away a ball?
I'm saying whenever they score a touchdown, Cam Newton goes and finds a kid.
Oh no! Well, I thought I was gonna say that's the most honest giveaway I've heard.
Oh yeah.
Like Cam does that out of the goodness. But I don't think that they should do that without Cam either. If Kyle Allen walked up and tried to give a ball to a fan and act like it was awesome, I'd be like, man, that's Cam Newton's thing. I thought you were saying the team had something that they stopped doing. Because I believe that team things like when they get you to come out there and pound the drum, I think those are all fraudulent and fake. You know, they get their moment. They get to put you on the Jumbotron. They get to do all of that, and they get to trumpet all of that. I don't think they really give a shit. I thought Cam's mess was fucking super authentic and awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to go hand this motherfucker to someone wearing a Cam Newton jersey in the end zone. There ain't nothing more authentic than that.
It got to the point where everyone was doing it, man. There was a culture of trying to make a kid's day when you score a touchdown, and we're not doing that no more. It's like all the fun has been sucked out of Carolina Panthers football.
Dude, the Ravens are over there drinking beers with the fans, bro. The Ravens are the 2015 Panthers.
Yes, 100%.
Just turn the television to that. You know you were watching it. I know you guys were watching that 49ers Ravens.
The best defense in the NFL, and we didn't beat the best defense in the NFL.
They're a Super Bowl team. Sorry, Ravens are a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I love them
without question.
All right, next call.
And they did it without an incredible Lamar Jackson.
Hey, C3. Thank God for the fucking podcast. I'm sorry with the language.
Thank you.
I'm so fucking upset with Ron Rivera and his fucking lack of creativity in the red zone, goddammit. Defensive line, offensive line, where can I begin? There's so much. Blow it all up. Start over. Keep Luke Kuechly, blow it all up. I don't know what else to do, man. Just fire Ron. I don't know.
I think we need help. I think you actually told us the answer. It's in the trenches. We ain't men in the trenches.
I hate to say this, but every Dante Jackson, these guys don't know how to tackle the safety. Like, I don't know what to do. Thank you. I just need to release my stress.
Thank you, Matt.
That's what we're here for, man.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that call. What about Dante Jackson with the pass interference call, the offensive pass interference call? That mug was on a tight end.
Dude, I was wondering about that. Like, he was covering like a 6'5" dude, and this dude's like 5'4".
Why did he have to pass interfere? It's almost like one of those things. He probably didn't think he was barely touching the guy, and he just sent poor Dante sprawling. Dante then did like a seal slide. Did you see that? Where he was like...
well, let's talk about it like this. So, Dante Jackson, what, 75 pounds? And so, when you have like a 350-pound tight end just pushing you. Sorry, I know those are very exaggerated numbers, but
they actually go exactly to where they were, 240 and 180. So and the numbers actually add up.
Nice.
So I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I think he could have pushed them all, and if he had to put force behind it, I think Dante Jackson may be out for the year.
Oh man, yeah, that would. But is that a miss? Going back to Ron Rivera and talking about the defense and the coverages, where are we on to something here? Why does he not need? Is his play calling thing so small that he doesn't need a sheet? Is he trying to be like that? Have you ever been to a restaurant where it's not as nice as they think it is, and then the waitress tries to take your order without writing it down, and you're like, and then you're like, wait a second, I'd like, no, let's not do this. We don't gotta do this. You can just say extra pickles on my kid's shit over here, no mustard. Like, you can write it down. I'm all right with you doing that. That's how Ron Rivera is. He's at a restaurant that is not as nice as he thinks it is, and he needs a pad, but he's trying to take your order without it.
Yeah, and over his head.
Yep. All right, next call.
I'm usually a pretty level-headed guy. But not today. Today is a different day. Fire everyone. I want Ron Rivera gone. I want Norv Turner gone. I want that clown Washington gone. He's just there for show at this point. He doesn't even do anything. I mean, listen, the Redskins going with the 30th ranked rushing offense, and you give up over 250 yards to him? Adrian Peterson's a shell. He's a ghost. He's an old man. He isn't anything. What are you doing when he rushed for over 80 yards on you? It's ridiculous. We're not big enough to run the 3-4. I feel like I'm losing my mind in here. Kyle Allen missed deep throws, distant throws all day long. The offensive line is a joke. You can't run up the middle, but yet every time they get into the red zone, the whole coaching staff becomes mentally challenged, and they just try to run it up the middle twice, and there's too many passes, and that's the game. Every time. You would think the coaches could find a way to make halftime adjustments. I don't think Rivera knows what a halftime adjustment is.
No, he's never been able to halftime adjust
That's
anything.
all I have. I'm sure I have way more points. I'm so angry right now.
He must have a large prostate, and
guys, keep going.
and that he's in the bathroom trying to get that pee out. He's trying to get it, but he cannot make a halftime adjustment because he's in the bathroom. That's Ron Rivera. Next call.
Let's go. Hey, yo, fuck all the frustration, fuck all the tears, fuck all the anger. Let's celebrate, Panthers. Rivera is gone. Like, if this game doesn't do it,
I like
no
his
other
style.
game will do it. Rivera is gone. Also, I want to take the time. This is Coltrane, by the way. I want to take the time out to say Cody was right the whole entire time. It is coaching.
He
It
was,
is coaching.
man. I gotta
It
give
is
him
coaching.
that. Yeah,
It is
I gotta give
coaching.
him that.
This team does not prepare.
Cody relishes in it. Look at his face. Look at his
I
face.
know this roster is
What a surprise. Cody is a fan favorite.
I know this roster doesn't have full of Pro Bowlers and All Pros, but damn it, we got some good players on this team that should be able to win fucking 10 games this year, 9 games this year, not lose to the. You know what it is. I'm not mad. Rivera's gone. Cody
Sound
was
mad.
right. Peace.
You sound mad.
Yeah,
You're
you're right.
And
y'all right.
I take no credit for being right, because at the end of the day, it just makes me upset that I wasn't right. That basically at the end of last year, when I wanted Ron Rivera gone, I was right, and this ended up being a wasted year. So I hate it, man, but shout out to Coltrane. Thank you for the call, man.
Cody, you know what you gotta do? You gotta tell this joke. This old man told me this joke one time. He didn't tell it like it sunk in. He said, "Man, I was wrong once."
Once.
And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Just once?" Well, I was hook, line, and sinker right then. He had me. He said, "Yeah," for thinking I was wrong. That's Cody. Next call.
Yo, it's time for Ron and company to go. I'm done. I'm done watching this bullshit. 3 winning seasons out of 9. Constant underperformance. Like, come on. You're still going to have the argument? Dude, and Kyle Allen? Kyle Allen's an ass. Yo, Kyle Allen is ass. That's all he is. Trade him and whoever the fuck to some other fucking team. Trade them both to the XFL, because that's where they bum asses belong. You take Kyle Allen, Ron Rivera, Darrell Williams, and Colin Jones, and you just trade them mugs out to the XFL, and I don't know, maybe get something out of it. Maybe a bag of Cheetos, maybe some chip dip, maybe some fun dip. I don't know.
I love how struggling Panther fans are tonight.
I really do. Ron ought to be fired after fucking today. That should be it. There should be like a press conference at 8 p.m.
Is this Josh from Mass? It sounds like
comes out and just lays it out on the line. Just boom. Let that big dig energy happen. All that billions of dollars just freaking just rain thunder on Ron Rivera's pathetic, fucking mediocre looking ass.
He said Bukaki on Rivera.
You know, I was excited today because I got my man cave in the basement all finished. I had a whole bunch of friends over. We lose to the goddamn Redskins. What the fuck is this, Skip?
Right,
Skip, what the fuck is this? Can't be living this way. This is a goddamn embarrassment. This is the second 2-win team we fucking lost to. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Where's Tepper going to draw the fucking line? When's he going to just say enough's enough, time to rip the Band-Aid off? Why wasn't Will Greer out there?
Yeah.
Like, come on. We're willing to tolerate mediocrity briefly to get to success. We ain't going to get to success off of this brand of mediocrity. There's a difference between a team that is totally capable and just underperforming and a team that's just performing to the most of their ability that they got, and the ability just ain't there. That's not this situation. This team has all the talent in the goddamn world.
Well, that's
and
not
we're just
the
getting
truth.
embarrassed and
That
shit on
is
fucking
definitely not
national
the
television.
truth.
Excellent.
We have marginal talent.
Top score. You already know who the hell this is.
I gotta stop here. I'm stopping here because I want to know this. Do you guys think, and I'm gonna give it to Cody first.
Yep.
Don't you think it would be a travesty if we don't see Will Greer next game? Not because of what Kyle Allen did, but don't you think we need to learn what Will Greer is? Or is it then do you just double waste everything if you don't?
I think from a managerial perspective, you're doing a disservice to the entire team by not evaluating the talent that you have on the football field. There were decision makers in Carolina that said Will Greer was worthy of a 3rd-round pick. And I don't care what anybody says. I do not care what anybody says. They had the assumption that Will Greer was going to win the backup job. They didn't put pressure on him to win the starting job because it was Cam Newton's job. But they at least thought that he was going to beat out an undrafted rookie in Kyle Allen. An undrafted player in Kyle Allen. So, yeah, at this point, if you're not going to play Will Greer, it is a travesty because now we're going into next year thinking, okay, well, if we do say grab a Tua Tagovailoa or whatever, then, now it means that's another 3rd-round pick that was wasted. That we drafted a player that isn't ever going to see the football field. You have to play Will Greer.
We're hitting a point, too, where this isn't a Ron Rivera's decision anymore. Where this should be a Marty Herney decision and a David Tepper decision.
Yep.
Because
they've lost the privilege to make decisions. So if
wouldn't you say this is that if Marty Herney doesn't force Ron Rivera at this point to try Will Greer out, that would be a stain on his resume? That's what I'm like. I feel like, yeah, like I think Herney right now could legitimately be competing to keep a job. Like, he likely won't. He likely won't. Ron Rivera doesn't have a job. What I'm just saying is this, is that if Marty Herney just shrivels in a corner and doesn't fight with Ron over seeing what we get with Will Greer, they've already called it quits.
100%. They've already called it quits, this whole team. It feels like the whole team is kind of called it quits, you know? We tried to make a comeback at the end, but, yeah, there's no fight in this team, man. We are the opposite of our motto, keep pounding. We've stopped pounding, and we're ready to leave and go home.
All right, next call.
Hey, guys, Kyle, VA again. I just wanted to call real quick.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Did I skip this
Hi,
one?
guys. It's Tyler from Spruce Pine.
No.
The Redskins game just ended. I don't even know the score. I left in the middle of the third quarter. Had some stuff to do, and it's just not worth my time anymore. Because say we do win out, say we do make playoffs, which is 100% the best case scenario, what are we going to do in the playoffs? I mean, really. At this point, I would be happy to get a higher draft pick. A couple things I think are going wrong is, number one, Ron Rivera. So, and I've not heard this name thrown around any, but Greg Roman, offensive coordinator for Baltimore, I say you try to get him in next year. Let him work with Cam, see what he can do. Completely revamp Carolina. Clean house, get rid of Marty Herney. He should have never been rehired. Another third-round pick got cut last week. So, I mean, later rounds is when you're supposed to make your money as a GM. But I really like the Greg Roman idea. Get him in there with Cam, and you can have an offense that's just absolutely unreal with McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, if he'll stop body catching everything. If Ian Thomas could get any playing time, I think he could be pretty good.
He should get it now.
I just think it's an absolute travesty that Ron Rivera won't play Brian Burns any more than what he has. I don't know the snap count for the Redskins game, but it's probably not going to be anywhere near where it should be for Brian Burns. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and I'm frustrated, tired of watching it. But hopefully better things are in our future. Let's hope that Tepper does the right thing and sends Rivera on his way, because it's time. All right, thanks, guys. Keep pounding.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, I've been bringing up Greg Roman for weeks now.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Dude, you're way ahead of the curve on that.
I agree with him. Yeah, I agree with him. Greg Roman is a great pickup. He's going to be a head coach next year. Like, there's no doubt about that. So we might as well make him our head coach.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. And by the way, I want to preface it with this. I'm not mad at Greg Roman at all. I would welcome Greg Roman as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. With that said, it's not really hard to implement some of the same concepts. That's why I've been so frustrated for a long time. Like, they're doing a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier,
we don't have the personnel to do what they're doing.
But we
had it in 2015. Yes, we did. We used to have it.
Doesn't play the fucking guys to do it.
Lies. We don't got Cam. They have Lamar Jackson, which is baby Cam. They have baby Cam.
You're making my point. Is that you have that what Greg Roman is doing right now? It's not earth-breaking, ground-shattering new shit. They're just letting Lamar Jackson,
that's true. That's true.
They're letting him decide if he wants to run or pass, because he can do both. And they're a run-first offense. But they're
a run.
That is new, though.
Yes.
That is new.
It's not new. That's what we used to do.
No, we did that 1 year. And if you look at our rushing offense that year, our rushing offense wasn't that great. You know, we had like 1,500 yards between the running back and two running backs and a quarterback. It wasn't great. But what they're doing in Baltimore is totally different than anything you've ever seen.
No.
Oh, yes, it is.
Listen, it's
anything
successful.
You've ever seen.
So listen, it's successful, but it's not different. They're running the read option and they're running the football. And
that's what we did in 2015. It's what we did in 2015.
When you ever seen a team run 3 tight end sets?
It's what we.
The Patriots do it a lot.
No, I wouldn't say a lot.
Well, I
who
mean,
are the three tight ends? The Patriots.
Well, but that's the point, though.
Yeah.
Gronk was the main threat, but you're only using, you're giving the quarterback the option of deciding what he wants to do based on the coverage that he sees on the field. And by the way, that's what they're doing with Lamar Jackson, too. If Lamar Jackson, they're running a lot of read options. They're killing the RPOs. But they're making the offense easy for their quarterback. And Greg Roman has gone on record as saying as much. They're making things very simple for Lamar. Simple, stupid, I believe, is how people would normally say it. But I would love Greg Roman, but I do think there are other coaches that could implement similar things. But
I will point out this is that they are rushing the ball even more than we did.
Oh yeah,
they have 20.
They did, yeah.
They have 2,300 yards in rushing yards right now on 407 attempts. In 2015, we had 2,200 yards on 500 attempts.
That's what I'm saying.
Let that settle in. They got more rushing yards on less attempts, and the season ain't over.
I can't say though that Mark Ingram is a better running back than D'Angelo and Jonathan Stewart were the year we had.
Yes, he was,
and Cam and Jackson is a better rusher than Cam Newton is.
Well, hold up, different kinds of rushers.
Different kind, but more effective as far as yards go.
And the ability to make people miss, but when you're trying to tackle Cam Newton, you're having to make a business decision.
Agreed.
Because Lamar's going around you, but Cam's going through you.
Right.
All right, next call. I'm going to pull up Cam and Lamar's stats, and let's compare them. Next call.
Hey, guys. Kyle, VA again. I just wanted to call real quick and touch on Curtis Samuel. And I don't think he's a bad player just because of this, but I've been defending him all season. And I will still continue to defend him on the fact that if Cam Newton was throwing him the ball, he would be balling out.
He's not.
I'm on your hill, buddy.
Yeah, I think so too.
That said, what Tony was saying, playing scared, I think there might be a little bit of truth to that after seeing the drop ball.
Thank you. Somebody likes me.
It was inexcusable, man. I mean, he just dropped it, and we needed that play. The one deep pass that, I don't know who you put that on. Is it on Kyle Allen for overthrowing, or is it on Curtis for not making the catch? Toss it up, put it on whoever you want to put it on. But I'm still not on the train that Curtis Samuel is overrated. I don't think that's at all. If we have a quarterback that can consistently hit him on these deep routes and get his confidence up, and Curtis Samuel's gonna be dangerous, man.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
There, he put a cornerback on their ass running a route. Usually you do that when you're running with the ball and you hit a juke move on a guy whose momentum is carrying him the other way. He's a little step back juke, but he put the cornerback on his ass just running his route. Curtis Samuel is fast, and once we can get a quarterback that can hit the deep ball consistently, oh man, it's gonna be crazy to watch him and DJ. DJ's a dog, and I don't care what anyone says. DJ is our number one. That boy has proved that he's a damn good football player. He plays with heart, he plays with toughness. He's the closest thing we've had to Steve Smith since Steve Smith. But anyway, I just want to touch on that real quick and keep pounding.
How many? Great call. Thank you for one person being a supporter of Tony in this podcast. How many passing touchdowns has Lamar had this season?
Right now, so he had one passing today. I believe he's at 25 or 26.
25. Okay, he's at 25. Here are the stats, that's so strange they don't have them good here, so I'm worried about comparing them. Hold on, I got the Cam Newton versus Lamar Jackson.
You're gonna be disappointed, man. I love Cam, but you're gonna be disappointed.
Cam right now has a slightly higher. He had a 59.8% completion rate versus Lamar Jackson's 58.2.
And it
push. Yeah, I mean it's the same exactly. And let me see.
Well, but again, also better offensive weapons.
Sure. Well, maybe.
Who Cam or
I don't know why they only say here.
Lamar. Lamar doesn't have better offensive weapons. He just has a better running back than we had the better collective running backs.
He has better.
He has no
offensive
receivers.
weapons. Mark
Who's his
Andrews
receivers?
they just drafted him in the first round. Hollywood Brown.
Right, exactly.
He's a burner. He's good.
And we had Devin Funchess that we got in the first round that year.
Oh,
And we also
we got him in the second. We got him in the second and it was trash. But
Greg Olsen though for Andrews, who was coming off that year, had 3,000-yard years after that.
I don't think that
So,
Lamar has exceptional weapons. I don't think that, but he has.
What he has a great offensive line. That offensive line is one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, if you watch that game,
only 5 rushing touchdowns though, right?
My point being is that it's not like Lamar Jackson.
Cam had 10 rushing touchdowns in 2015.
But
10.
it's what I've been saying about
They
the
got 5
Panthers
games
offense for years is that it's been predicated on throwing the ball downfield, whereas there are more than one option for Lamar Jackson. I mean, he has Mark Andrews, he has Ingram, he has Brown, Hollywood Brown, I believe his name is. I mean, there are options for him. I'm not saying that there weren't options for Cam, but I would take Lamar's every day of the week, man.
Yeah.
He's been good. I love Cam. I don't think Cam's ever played on a team as good as the Ravens, though.
No.
Close, but not the same.
As good as defense. Not nearly as good as defense. He's never had
I don't know. Our 2015 defense was straight, dude.
Yeah,
Bro.
but it wasn't compared to what the Ravens are right now. You know?
I don't know if that is all on them either. Their offense chews clock up more than anybody.
Because they run the football.
Oh, it's amazing.
The Ravens are so. This is another thing.
I love the Ravens. I think they're I think they're Super Bowl favorites.
I agreed.
I think that the Super Bowl teams play today. I think the 49ers and the Ravens are probably going to play again.
And it was a damn good game.
And I mean, listen, honestly, that 49ers defense, they held Lamar Jackson in check.
They did?
He had some big plays, but at the same time, the 49ers were able to stop the run, and it was 17-17 to the very end. So that game could go either way. I still like both of those football teams. I think that's going to be a repeat of the 2012 Super Bowl.
All right, we're 2 hours into the show. The number's 252-228-5098. And you jokers better smash the likes the thumbs up button. We have 85 viewers and we have 66 likes. We're close to eclipsing. That's what we want to do. We want to have more likes than viewers concurrently. You guys are the best. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for your input in the chat room. Let's see what else you guys got to say.
Can you have more likes?
Hey guys, Kyle, VA again.
The same one. Next one.
What's going on with C3? It's Darius from Raleigh. I had called in a few weeks ago.
Great caller, by the way, Darius.
I believe the only reason we got to the Super Bowl in 2015 was because of Sean McDermott. And I think every week, like what I said, is becoming more true.
We got to talk about this, I think.
It's almost as if the players have given up on Ron. I feel like they're rebelling against him. They see a lot of the things that we see. You know, they're on social media just as much as we are. They just don't want to go out and be public about it. They don't want their reputation to be tarnished. I feel like this team is just giving up on him, especially considering they knew Cam was hurt and they still sent him back out there. And it's like, if you don't care about QB1, do you care about me? And I guarantee you a lot of those players thought about that. They don't want to play for that man anymore. It almost looks like no one is even trying.
What are you doing, Greg?
Everyone is just looking to go home lay back, chill. They're just showing up for a
No,
check.
your audio is.
And I forget who said it on First Things First, but they were like, a coach's message just, it's like it just gets old after a while. And Ron's message has gotten old. He's been saying the same thing day in and day out. He's going to get up there at the press conference and say the same thing we've been hearing for 9 seasons. It's time to just get someone new up in there. Like, we need innovation. All the teams that are having success right now are innovating. Look at what Sean McDermott is doing in Buffalo. He turned Buffalo around. Buffalo was a laughing stock for years, and they're about to go into the playoffs. That's all I got to say. Keep pounding.
All right, I'll open that call up to you. CK, you start. Sean McDermott, formerly with the Carolina Panthers, and the caller wants a change.
I agree. I mean, I said it. I think I said it a couple of weeks ago as well. When we were talking about the Buffalo Bills and things. You see what he's done with that organization. He's gonna make. They're gonna be playoff contenders for 2 out of the 3 years that he's been there. That is, they haven't been to the playoffs since 1990s before he got there. So I think there is a big portion of this where, since he left our defense, the year that he left, we had Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes relied so heavily on the blitz to be able to get any pressure on the quarterback. That's the only reason he got hired as a head coach for Arizona. It looked like he was a better defensive coordinator than he was. And then Steve Wilkes goes, and then Eric Washington loses his job mid-season, not technically, but reality speaking. And then obviously this year we have Ron taking over, and Ron can't even get our defense right with all the weapons that we have on our defense. When you look on paper, our defense should have been top of the line almost every aspect. A lot of people would question James Bradbury and maybe Trey Boston and Dante Jackson, but I think even with those guys, you would have expected a lot better output than what we've got this year, and it's just not happening. And that falls down to one person, the person who's the head coach and the defensive coordinator of our team, and that is simply Ron Rivera. Bottom line, we need a change.
All right, I agree.
Real quick, that brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about earlier. Do you think we made a mistake in keeping KK and getting rid of Starr?
No.
Starr?
Because, all I'm saying is Starr is really doing well in Buffalo.
Starr is doing his
KK
job.
has not done great this year. So
He hasn't been here this year.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Well,
and they're different. I would say they're different. You saw that interception, didn't you? That's the thing. Is Greg saw that interception. That was the same thing. I looked at Starr, and I saw him make that interception. He's so big and giant, and I was like, oh, we need that right now so bad.
Starr has mostly been a disappointment in Buffalo if you ask Buffalo fans.
Yes.
This is the first year that you will see anybody give him any compliments while being up there. I think I think Starr and KK were a great team because KK was a great pass rusher, Starr was a great run stopper. And so when you can mix those two and have those in a 4-3 type defense, you have this situation where now you have the best of both worlds up front. I don't know, just call me crazy, but Starr Lotulelei wasn't the better of the two. I think that we lost something when we lost him, but he's not the answer to why we're here.
Right, 100%.
Would you guys? I want you guys to think about this, maybe for Tuesday, because we've been going for so long now. But
yeah,
if Philly, since they lost Doug Peterson, since they lost today to the Dolphins, would you rather have Doug Peterson as a head coach? I like him. Next call.
Rather than
Hey guys, did any of you go to the game today? I was wondering, you could see it more if you're at the game. But I'm looking at the body language of the offensive line and the defensive line, and the Redskins, they seem to have more energy to them, that they were more eager to get on the field. The Panthers were just moping around, dragging their feet, hands flopping around their hips. Just the level of effort. And tell me, guys, which was worse today, the defensive line or the offensive line? And by the way, and thank you for
tough.
you guys, for anyone who goes to the game and spends 4 hours watching this quality of product. God bless you.
I know. We almost, man, we couldn't drive. I could not do 14 days in the car. I gave the tickets away. Next call.
I think that was the message. Hey, this is Joe Pimento from Sacramento. I want to tell you, you got to fire that coach. He is trash. Fucking trash.
Ron Rivera, he ain't done nothing for that team. He's not been watching this team for years. They ain't done nothing.
Terrible. Fire his ass. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let me see. I hope this is the last call. I hope it is. Yes. Last call of the night.
Hey guys, representing New York over here for the Panthers. Obviously upset about the game, but I'm not too upset seeing how last week was pretty much the lost hope of the season. We all know Ron's got to go. I've been watching you guys for a few years, but never attempted to call before.
Thanks for the input, bro.
As far as the defense goes, this 4-3 system that we moved to a 3-4, it's got to go back to how it was. I don't know why we changed something that didn't.
I want to talk on this.
Our defense has been pretty good for the past couple of years. And as far as why Washington is still even on or part of our team is beyond me. I'm not too keen on Norv either, but I don't mind him so well as to the full game, but I don't like Norv in the red zone calling plays. I do agree with you that Cam does need to be able to call those plays himself, so we do need a coach that's going to allow Cam to be Cam. Another thing I wanted to point out was our receiving core. DJ's been doing great. Curtis has been dropping balls on and off throughout the games this year. I do think we need one more player, wide receiver, to really make this offense be more than what it is. Obviously, we have McCaffrey. We need a QB. Kyle Allen is not the answer. So hopefully Cam can come back. He is healthy. That's the route I would go. If not, then maybe we will go with someone else. But Kyle Allen's not the answer, and I don't think Will Greer's the answer either. But we should be playing him in these last couple of games to just at least see how he's going to be in a season game compared to preseason. Anyways, it's just my thought. Keep watching you guys and keep on.
Keep pounding. So I kind of want to jump in on this first, and I'll reiterate this. I've said this before, man. Listen, our defense is putrid right now. There is absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's terrible. But it's such a scapegoat to me to say that it's because of the 3-4. I don't think that the 3-4 is necessarily the source of our problems. Maybe there's some truth to the fact that our roster still isn't quite necessarily built to run the 3-4 effectively, but the 3-4 is not the problem. It's just bad coaching, bad gap awareness, bad diligence when it comes to tackling, players not knowing their assignments. There are teams that run a 3-4 that can stop the run. So that's not an excuse.
Well done. Yes, sir.
That is not an excuse for why this football team is so bad. We can draft for whatever kind of front that we want to, but us not being able to run the ball, it's not a 3-4 issue. It's a defensive coaching issue.
Nobody said last year when we were thinking about switching over, or when we switched over, that we were going to give up necessarily 200 yards rushing.
No,
never. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And they were running the football down our throat last year as a 4-3.
Yeah. I'm with you. You're right. It is like, hey, the scheme is different, but the problems are still the same.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy is we went like 2 years without allowing a 100-yard rushing team, and then one game we allowed. I think it was not last year, but the year before that.
And now we allowed 200 yards.
Exactly. We allowed one team to get 100 yards on us, and ever since then, we have allowed over 100 yards every game almost since then. And before that, we went 2 years without allowing a 100-yard rusher. We were the best run defenses in the league. I don't know what happened. Like, somebody flipped a switch, and we just changed things up. I have no idea what happened.
All right, we're at the end of the show. All the calls have been gone through. We have yelled and screamed for Ron Rivera's head. We usually do a dab on him player of the week, but I don't even think anybody gets it. Even Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, he had a rough game.
Well, he had 100 yards.
The 100 scrimmage, but
All right, so let's get the hell out of here. Cody, how can they follow you until Tuesday night? You know, guys, we do. First of all, did you see the numbers for today? We pulled nearly 100 live viewers the entire time.
We had 118 at one point, and right now, almost at the end of the show, we still have 86 people watching.
Nice. Thank you,
True
Panther Nation.
Fans.
This is your therapy. It's free. This is free therapy. All you gotta do, actually, there is one cause. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the show, and tell one damn friend about it. We're here Tuesday nights, live, 9 p.m., 7 seasons straight. Not a single week missed. If anything, we've had to move it to a Wednesday a couple of times in those 7 years. Cody, how can they get after you until Tuesday?
At Cody Lack, CODYLAC on Twitter. You can hit me up. We are doing bi-weekly mock drafts at drafttech.com. I have a brand new written column that went up last week for the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans, whom I also write for. Draft season is kicking up. So as the Panthers season winds down, I'm looking at players, studying film, already looking on to next year. And my final thing, and I've been saying this, and I am dead and determined to get more people to watch The Watchmen on HBO.
Yes.
I don't care how you watch it.
I'm with you on that.
I don't care if you need to pirate it. Dude, I don't care. This is some of the best television that I've seen in a very long time.
I don't want to watch it can I watch it without reading the comics?
You can.
Yeah, you can. It does make it easier, but it's still just as fun and exciting.
Right. All right, then I'm going to do it.
Because the show doesn't care what you do or don't know.
It is a direct adaptation from the movie, from the book, but it is a continuation, so you can start from right there and still love it.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well, I've been watching the Star Wars going back.
Yeah.
And I got problems with the editing. All right, look, bring me. Yeah, their vocals are so low. Greg, tell them how they can get after you before Tuesday.
You can find me at the Bad Daddy 52 on Twitter, and I also run another show. It's the Super Civil Servants Podcast, where we're talking about the Watchmen, the Mandalorian, Titans, Star Wars, all that good stuff.
You gotta get me on the show, man. We're
gonna get you on the show, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get you on the show. I'll have all the C3 family on there. But if you like movies, you like TV shows, stuff like that, hit me up. Check out our show. We are live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not live, but excuse me. We record every Friday at 9 Eastern Standard Time, and then we drop on Mondays. So check us out, Super Civil Servants Podcast, or the Bat Daddy 52. Hit me up.
CK with his 110 followers. How can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CodeDizzleAllen. Just hit me up with the follow, man. Get me some more people. That,
guys, let them know that you listen, folks.
Yeah.
Follow this man. CodeDizzleAllen. Follow this man.
He's been taking you to the promised land. My name's Tony Dunn. You can follow me at cat_chronicles. That's at cat CAT_chronicles. I know that's complicated for people with your spelling desires this year. Look, just like football is complicated for the Carolina Panthers, but it don't matter because we're going to be here on Tuesday night. We're going to be icing up mugs. We're going to be coming after him. We're going to be finding Ron Rivera's replacement. We're going to be asking, as ZK said, can we try to get Graham Gano on the show? I was like, hell yeah. If you can get Graham Gano on the show, yes. I hate you, Graham. Let's do it. All right. That's the show. That's the show.